Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the penultimate game here of the 2025 regular season for both of these teams tonight here on Next Level Broadcasting. We've got the Inland Lakes Bulldogs coming in with a perfect 8-0 unblemished record, taking on the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds at 7-1, and the Ski Valley Conference Championship is on the line here tonight at Gaylord St. Mary Field. You're going to see it all here on nextlevelbroadcasting.net and Gaylord St. Mary Athletics on YouTube. Welcome into the J&J Construction pregame show here with the Snowbirds and the Bulldogs getting ready to square off here in Week 9 of the high school football season. Both teams locked and loaded for the playoffs next week, but a win here for either side gives them some more leverage and better seeding when the tournament begins next week. Charles Strail along with Christian Swinsicki here. Christian, wonderful game we've got on tap here, and welcoming you to the broadcast booth, everybody. Once again, Charles, Christian, pleasure to have you here. We know we've had this game pegged on the calendar since it came out in April, and now we're finally here. October 24th has arrived.
You've really been hyping this up since April, and I mean, this is something, last game of the regular season, and it's our first game together. And this is one of the most important games of the season right now. Like you said, one of these teams is going home with some hardware.
Yeah.
And I mean, hardware added to the trophy case, no matter what the reason, is exciting nonetheless. I mean, 2 weeks ago, a loss to Breckenridge kind of, gave them a little stumble.
Yeah, for the Snowbirds, yeah.
But the Snowbirds, they rebounded easily, right? With the 44-0 win against Holton. And now this week, here you go. This is what we were looking forward to, like you said, back in April. And even weeks ago, when I saw the collision course of both teams were undefeated, both teams were dominating teams and putting up just monster leads and winning by multiple scores, winning by multiple digits. And here we are. We have been calling this collision course for some time now, and we're what are we, 15 minutes away?
Yeah.
And we're almost there.
Want to welcome in Nick Wenzel into the broadcast booth here on the J&J Construction pregame show. Nick, we've been talking about how this game has been circled on the calendar by both of these teams for a long time. I know you're ready to go for this one here tonight.
I am.
It should be a good one between the Bulldogs and the Snowbirds. We'll talk about it more coming up on the J&J Construction pregame show when we return. Snowbirds and Bulldogs coming up on deck after these messages. You're watching Gaylord St. Mary football here on Next Level Broadcast.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
We all know northern Michigan winters take a toll on our parking lots and driveways, but Gaylord Seal Coating has you covered. A proud sponsor of local high school athletics, Gaylord Seal Coating specializes in infrared seamless asphalt repair, hot pour crack filling, striping, and more. Need a new snowplow solution this winter? GSC can do that too. Commercial, residential, private roadways, and associations, Gaylord Seal Coating is your answer. Give them a call today at 989-732-5003.
I got cash. All right, welcome back into the J&J Construction pregame show here. Charles Strail, Nick Wenzel, Christian Schwinsicki here. We're live just minutes away from Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds taking on the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. But first, while we're here on the J&J Construction pregame show, many times we don't know where to go when beginning the process, just like we might not know where to go when beginning this broadcast. But we might get into something, whether it's building or remodeling a home, and that's where J&J Construction comes in. J&J Construction is trusted by the pros, lenders, and most importantly, their clients, because when they deliver a home to their client, they deliver something that is exactly what the client wants. That's J&J Construction, a proud sponsor here of Gaylord St. Mary Snowbird football on Next Level Broadcasting. Christian, let me bring you back in one more time before we cut it away. One key point for each of these two teams tonight, what do you think is what each team needs to do well?
Well, for the Snowbirds, you need to, I would have to give you 2 big points. Okay. The first one is you are at one point in this game going to need a stop.
Yeah.
The Inland Lakes has been dominating teams, and when I say dominating teams, the Snowbirds have been doing it to the extent of 30-plus points a game, that they're beating teams on average this year. Well, that's fine and dandy, but Inland Lakes has been doing that by 50.
Yeah.
And so at some point you do need to get a stop, maybe a second or a third stop. Also compound that with the second key point of you are going to have to match them in points.
Yeah.
Because you have to also keep that scoring output high. And for Inland Lakes, they have all season been answering that bell. And for comparison, and now it's not a great one-to-one comparison. Earlier this season, when the Snowbirds traveled to Pellston, they beat Pellston on the road, I believe, 54-6.
Yeah.
And now that's a great showing. Inland Lakes did it 66-0.
So both these teams,
that was at home, though.
Yeah, these teams have been kind of doing anything you can do, I can do better kind of thing with their conference opponents so far this season. The second point that you wanted to mention about the St. Mary Snowbirds.
Well, the second point was that offense. You got, like I said, you have to keep up with the scoring, and if you get those stops, well, that's great. At the end of the day, you still need to score more points.
Another key point for the Snowbirds is limiting the penalties. In that game versus Breckenridge, they had 11 total penalties, and a lot of them gave Breckenridge additional first down. Let me bring it over to Nick Wenzel. Nick, you and I like to play a game over-under. A lot of times we link up on broadcast. Over-under. And if the Snowbirds stay under 9 penalties tonight, do they win the game?
I'm going to say under.
So under 9 penalties. If Nick, I think you're right on the money. If they can go under 9 penalties tonight, I think they got a really good shot at coming away here with a victory here tonight. Week 9, as I mentioned, the conference hardware on the line. Bulldogs and Snowbirds, Ski Valley title hopes. Both these two teams have a shot at it to win it outright. So we're going to go ahead and step aside one final time before we get ready for Snowbirds and Bulldogs here on Next Level Broadcasting. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Orion, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installations, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike other service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding your gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Are you interested in building a new home or renovating an existing one? With over 100 years of combined experience, J&J Construction is one of the most reliable and respected general contractors in our service area. J&J is a trusted construction partner valued by architects, subcontractors, financiers, and most of all, their clients. J&J Construction has been completing quality homes and improvement projects that add value to the communities they serve. They bring a passion for innovation and a commitment to quality to every job they do. Call them today.
Vision Source and Gaylord Eye Care are proud to be offering their services to local communities across northern Michigan. With locations in Gaylord, Boyne City, Bel Air, and Sheboygan, they're committed to serving you and providing a trusted source of credentials and expertise. If you're struggling with anything vision related, then don't hesitate to schedule a consultation and meet their friendly and experienced staff for yourself.
And welcome back into the J&J Construction pregame show here on Next Level Broadcasting. Charles Strail, Christian Swinsicki, and Nick Wenzel here live from Gaylord St. Mary Field. Snowbirds and Bulldogs moments away. While we have an opportunity to do so, the Snowbirds, they put one on film last week versus Holton and really were able to get some things corrected from the previous week versus Breckenridge. Christian, against Breckenridge, the Snowbirds had an opportunity almost all the way up until the end of the game when they ultimately weren't able to come through. Breckenridge had a 96-yard fumble return for a touchdown that pretty much put the game out of reach and put Breckenridge up by 10 points. That was the last close game that the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds found themselves in. And mark my words, I think they're about to find themselves in another one here tonight. But before we get into that, you wanted to make a quick correction here on some of your keys to the game.
Well, I know it was as simple as, playing defense and then, making sure to score as many points. But, like you were talking about earlier, is making sure you keep down those miscues and then making sure you keep possession of the ball. One of those things of saying you're going to have to keep up with the offense, but you also have to maintain that possession, keep those possessions going, and actually having success on those possessions.
Yeah.
That's just among one of the many points of offense that I think you need to have in order to have a successful offense. So Inland Lakes has had one up to this point of the season, and Gaylord's had almost just as good of one, but now, championship defenses are a thing.
It certainly is. Well, we have a time to do so. We want to give a shout out to Tom Clementson. Tom's tuning in from South Carolina tonight. Tom, we miss you here. I know the whole Gaylord St. Mary Mafia is tuning in and wishing you well, and you're doing a good service there by going down and taking care of your family down in South Carolina. So it's a special pregame shout out to you, Tom, and looking forward to getting you back into the booth for the Snowbirds playoff run. Nick, your final thoughts here as it pertains to what you need to see from the Snowbirds tonight for them to come out with a win tonight.
Man, they just need to use strength. They need to stay focused on what they're doing, finding their spots, lock down their guys, make sure there's nobody left open, and take care of the ball.
Taking care of the ball is another big one as well in that loss versus Breckenridge. The Snowbirds had 3 turnovers, including 1 on the 4-yard line against Breckenridge. So that was really the play of the game, and that happened late in the fourth quarter. But that's 2 weeks away, and no use living in the past, as the Snowbirds are now ready to go here with the Ski Valley Conference Championship on the line tonight versus the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. These two teams have combined to win the last 5 Ski Valley championships. The last one that the Snowbirds won was in 2021. Inland Lakes has won every one since. We're going to go ahead, step aside one more time for a commercial before we get ready for Snowbirds and Bulldogs national anthem starting lineups in our convocation here from Gaylord St. Mary Field. You're watching Next Level Broadcasting and nextlevelbroadcasting.net. We'll be back.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
We all know northern Michigan winters take a toll on our parking lots and driveways, but Gaylord Seal Coating has you covered. A proud sponsor of local high school athletics, Gaylord Seal Coating specializes in infrared seamless asphalt repair, hot pour crack filling, striping, and more. Need a new snowplow solution this winter? GSC can do that too. Commercial, residential, private roadways, and associations, Gaylord Seal Coating is your answer. Give them a call today at 989-732-5003. Are you interested in building a new home or renovating an existing one? With over 100 years of combined experience, J&J Construction is one of the most reliable and respected general contractors in our service area. J&J is a trusted construction partner valued by architects, subcontractors, financiers, and most of all, their clients. J&J Construction has been completing quality homes and improvement projects that add value to the communities they serve. They bring a passion for innovation and a commitment to quality to every job they do. Call them today.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
All right, here we are. Welcome back to Gaylord St. Mary High School Field. We're going to send it down to the national anthem as our prayer and convocation tonight, and then starting lineups.
Help us to be mindful of your presence within everyone around us. May we glorify you in the respect and dignity we show each person. We ask this in your name. Mary, Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Now we ask that you remain standing and remember those that have given their lives defending our flag and country. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. And veterans, feel free to give the appropriate salute and join us in honoring our God and country as we sing our national anthem. Tonight we're led by Alice Wall, Gia Cadat, and Taylor Dureski.
And welcome back. A beautiful rendition of the national anthem there. Charles Trail along with Christian Swinsicki and Nick Wenzel and our Gaylord broadcasting crew here live at Gaylord St. Mary Field. We're ready to play some football between the Bulldogs of Inland Lakes and the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. A combined win-loss total coming into this game at 15-1. So two exceptional programs, not only for this year, but the last 3 to 4 years coming into this game as well. The Inland Lakes Bulldogs have won 3 straight games. Actually, check that, 4 straight versus the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. So the Snowbirds looking to snap the streak here tonight in front of their home crowd. And it is also senior night for the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. And if you're looking at the roster, Christian, senior night this year might only be highlighting a couple of students, and that's Braden Durecki, David Wall, Andrew Rosser, and that's it. Just 3 seniors on the roster for the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. Can't highlight enough how much youth it will be on the field tonight for Gaylord St. Mary. The big question in my mind, and the question that we might have to check back in on maybe in the 3rd or 4th quarter, how does this youth mature tonight against a very high-quality opponent in Inland Lakes?
Well, I mean, you mature through experience, right? And there's no better experience in big games than actually playing in the big games, Charles. And here we are. I mean, hardware on the line. Both teams have a chance to go home with a trophy. And, I mean, for the Snowbirds, I mean, they just got to go right back across the street for the trophy. And that's not too far of a walk, and I'm sure they're ready to make that walk.
Teeing it up for the Snowbirds is Lucas Greenier, Back deep for the Bulldogs is Andre Bradford, and Bradford is an impact player with speed to burn. He stands at his own 15-yard line, and we're about to get underway here between the Bulldogs and the Snowbirds. All the talk and anticipation is going to end in a mere matter of moments as Grenier pooches this one up. It's fielded at the 49-yard line by the Bulldogs. Making a sure-handed catch there is Landon Perkins, and the Bulldog offense comes out for the first time at their own 49-yard line.
One thing we didn't get to talk about in the pregame, Charles, is how many fans are actually in attendance today. This is a big one.
Sold out.
That's right, and I mean, what better game of the season would you want to be here for than the last game of the regular season with, like we said, hardware on the line, but tall task here for the defense to start.
Perkins comes out in a gun 2-back set, and the Bulldogs are quickly going to shift into empty. Twins to the top and the bottom. Snowbirds with 2 down defensive linemen get the rush right up the middle. Perkins breaks contain in the pocket. He's into Snowbird territory where he's brought down by, looked like the tackle was made initially by Logan Grenier. A pickup of 4, maybe 5 yards for Perkins. Christian, maybe a broken play there early. I don't think that was designed like that for the Bulldogs.
Well, the Snowbirds showed a lot of empty set in the back end. No one playing really deep. It was a lot of man-to-man once all the skill position players shifted out.
Gun 2-back, Perkins hands off up the middle, and making the tackle for a loss for the Snowbirds is Nathan O'Connell.
I mean, that was a good penetration right up the middle from O'Connell. Able to get the sure-handed arms right around the running back and bring him down for no gain. And, hey, they're looking at a 3rd down already here for the Bulldogs, and Snowbirds off to a good start on defense. We'll see how this looks. Their first 3rd down attempt here for the Bulldogs.
Snowbirds showing 2 down defensive linemen. Rolling out to his left, deep throw, and caught. Dropping off of his fingertips twice was Andre Bradford. Let's take another look at that one, because Bradford had 2 opportunities to catch this one.
Oh, man. Had a man in the corner route and just nowhere. Couldn't have put it in a better spot there, but unable to come in for the one-handed grab and just a little overthrown, and 4th down here.
And I want to check that. I mean, my mistake early on. It's Tyler Colley right now quarterbacking the Bulldogs here as they're lining up to go for it here on 4th down, 4th and 7. Bulldogs will send 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Colley in the shotgun. That should be a false start against the Bulldogs, and that'll push them back 5 yards. Guilty party was the running back Landon Fenstermaker. And let's see if the Bulldogs change their play call here on 4th down. Snowbirds with a bid for a 3-and-out on their opening defensive possession, Christian.
I mean, the senior Colley, hey, takes a little bit of air off that one, and then we might be talking about a 2-point conversion attempt instead of a 4th down attempt.
Bradford stands at his own 36-yard line to punt this one away. Back deep for the Snowbirds is Joe Jacobson. He's going to field it inside his 20. Makes a couple moves. Jacobson still on his feet, still going, and eventually has his forward progress stopped at the 19-yard line by Andre Bradford. And Fenstermaker on the tackle as well. So first time we get to see this Snowbird offense, and they have their full complement of running backs here. I mean, in terms of running backs that handle a lot of the workload. And Nathan O'Connell, Grenier, and then Charlie Cameron being able to once again be back inserted into the lineup for the Snowbirds. Look out for those 3 offensive playmakers for the Snowbirds tonight. O'Connell starts in the shotgun. He's going to hand off to Grenier, and Grenier slips through 2 tackles, keeps the legs churning for about a 5-yard gain on 1st down. So
good muscle play right up the middle, good for a couple of yards there. I mean, makes it for 2nd and manageable. And hey, if you got what we talked about, one of those key points to start off the game was a defensive stop. You've got one now.
Yep.
This is one of the chances you could smell a little bit of, you see that they're not invincible. You can put points on them.
Turnovers and penalties, the key for the Snowbirds, and also 3rd and 4th down conversions for both of these 2 teams. Here's a handoff. Actually,
That's
Greenier. Once again, I thought Nathan O'Connell might have pulled it, but a late flag does come out, and we'll have to check the yellow hanky.
Big body Greenier. They're just going to wear him down on the ground to start. As we await the call here.
Really having to await the call here. What are they? They're waving the flag off. So no penalty enforced against either team. And I didn't see really any indication of what it could have been.
You could hear a pin drop when the referees were discussing. Oh, my goodness. Everyone was silent in here.
Nick Wenzel, you talked about it in the pregame show. Snowbirds need to stay under 9 turnovers to have a good chance of winning this one tonight. So here's 1st and 10 now from the Snowbird 30. Snowbirds have picked up 1 first down, the game's first down. And O'Connell is going to keep this one, and he's met in the backfield, swarmed by, and looked like the tackle was eventually brought down by Eli Foldenauer. And it's a TFL tackle for loss. Backs the Snowbirds up 1 yard at 2nd and 11.
Well, the sophomore O'Connell, one of the young leaders for this Snowbirds offense. Seen him light it up a couple of times this season already. He's looking to finish out the regular season with a potent showing here tonight.
O'Connell empty now. He's going to keep this one. Designed keeper, and he's brought down at the 30, getting about 2 of those yards back. So it'll be 3rd and long. We talked about it earlier, Christian, the 3rd down conversions for both of these teams. Here's the first one for the Snowbirds.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things here, and for the Bulldogs, you know, they're looking at, on the other side, every key point that we said that the Snowbirds need to make, you're be darn sure the Bulldogs said the same thing. The Snowbirds can score a lot, and the Bulldogs' defense will have to step up, so we'll see how these two immovable objects bounce off one another.
Snowbirds will send George Mertz and Eli Switolski to the bottom of the formation. O'Connell in the shotgun, flanked to his right by Greenier. O'Connell looking to throw now, rolling to his left, across the body, and that should be a PI.
Yes.
And it's called against the Bulldogs.
Wyatt Hannell,
Yeah.
the guilty party.
Pass was intended for Mertz. Let's take another look at that one.
I think that might be what's called pass interference.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, you see it right here on the replay. O'Connell just buying a little time in the pocket, and you see right there, almost out there head hunting, and it was actually, I believe, Eli Switolski, number 9. Number 9 and number 5 right now, giving my eyes a challenge. And if you're having challenges with your own eyes, you can head on in to the Gaylord Eye Care Center. They're making football and bringing you back to the top of your game with the Gaylord Eye Care Center with 4 locations in Gaylord, Sheboygan, Bel Air, and Boyne City. Gaylord Eye Care Center helping fans and announcers see games in crystal clear 1080p perfect 20/20 vision all season long. Snowbirds with a 2nd set of downs. After that pass interference, Nathan O'Connell works for about a 3-yard gain on that first down quarterback keeper, and he noses the ball out to the Snowbird 47.
Well, I mean, hey, the Snowbirds are the first team to convert a 3rd down here, but it wasn't the conventional way, thanks to the help of that pass interference.
Let's keep in mind that was also 3rd and 11, Christian.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That was a 3rd and 11, a long one, so the Bulldogs bailed them out there, and that's so far. Bulldogs not playing as disciplined as maybe they have all season.
Gun 2 back now for O'Connell and the Snowbirds. He's going to keep it, and he's wrestled down right away. Nice penetration by Alex Willis by the Bulldogs, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
Some big people, big humans along these offensive, defensive lines. Oh man, there's a lot of mass going on down there that's got to get shuffled around to open up some of these holes. And it's so far we've seen both teams kind of, I mean, aside from these Greenier runs, have struggled outside of the 2 Greenier carries that we've seen.
Snowbirds will pack it in tight here. O'Connell takes it, early penetration, but he's keeping the legs moving. O'Connell into Bulldog territory. Give him a nice gain, 4.5, maybe 5 yards. It'll set up a 4th and manageable should the Snowbirds elect to go for this. If they wanted to punt here, they'd likely be able to pin the Bulldogs back deep within their own territory. Let's see what head coach Kevin O'Connell wants to do here. It is 4th and 3. From just inside the Inland Lakes 48. They have to get to the Bulldog 45 for a fresh set of downs. This will be the Snowbirds' first 4th down of the game. They come out in this same condensed formation. O'Connell takes it. He's brought down in the backfield, tackle for a loss. Damian Bradford turns the Snowbirds over on downs, and the Bulldogs defense gets a response they needed.
I mean, so far, both these teams' defenses have answered the bell, and we might be in for a defensive struggle here early on, Charles. One of these teams is going to have to be the first to break at some point, but it's a couple of big 4th down stops here from both the Snowbirds first and then the Bulldogs now. Let's see how the Bulldogs respond.
Here's Tyler Colley with his second possession here. He's going to swing this one out into the flats. Got a completion to Landon Fenstermaker. Fenstermaker has a first down past the 40-yard line and tackled at the 36-yard line. A gain of 15 yards on first down for the Bulldogs, and they'll hurry up to the line of scrimmage. And quickly applying some tempo are the after their first down of the game. Colley looking to throw into the flats. He has a completion to Bradford. Bradford brought down on the sideline by O'Connell.
Well, these slot corners are giving them some space here for these guys in the slot here. They're just running to the flat and then these quick out actions.
Completely different offense right now for the Bulldogs on their second possession. Colley throwing deep down the sideline for Bradford, and it's just out past his outstanded reach. Close coverage there by Nathan O'Connell, running step for step with Bradford, and that's a great matchup.
This is a frenetic pace here in the second drive. I love the hurry up. You don't see this often at this level, but my goodness.
Yeah, we'll just take a look at it. One-on-one coverage, good on good. O'Connell against Bradford, and O'Connell was within maybe a step, maybe even a half step, as Colley has so far completed some early passes, but the long ball evading him so far. Here's 3rd and 7. Colley looking to throw over the middle. Air mails the intended target of Landon Perkins, and Logan Greenier just absolutely clobbered Tyler Colley there. I thought they might call pass interference there, Christian.
Well,
we're not PI, but roughing the passer.
They could have called roughing the passer, but yeah, that was a little high, and it explains why the ball came out a little high out of Colley's hands. Yeah, I mean, Landon Perkins looks like a tall drink of water out there on the outside, just unable to really soar up high to that 8-9 foot mark that I think Colley put it up for. I mean, big 4th down here.
4th down for the Bulldogs. Colley rolling out to his left, getting pressure in the backfield, thrown over complete to Bradford. He's got the conversion. Bradford down at the Snowbird 20-yard line where he's wrestled down by Joe Jacobson, but the Bulldogs convert on 4th down.
A massive 4th down conversion here. I mean, unable to get anything on the 3rd down, but 4th down just staring down the barrel of a gun and just delivering it. I mean, what a beautiful, he kind of knew he was going to take the hit.
Yeah, and a good job by the Bulldog coaching staff moving the pocket for Tyler Colley. The Snowbirds brought some pressure off of the near side. The Bulldogs rolled the pocket to the opposite side, and it gave Colley the time he needed to find Bradford. Here's a handoff to Bradford on the jet sweep, brought down in the backfield. Nice play there by Greenier, and Bradford has no gain on the play.
I mean, Snowbirds defense on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down so far has been stout. Good penetration there, and
like you said earlier, Charles, between those 3 players for the Snowbirds, that could be big to watch. Greenier's one of them.
Yeah.
He had a big stop, and he's continuing to just pound these guys down.
And he's made a couple plays, and he's already made his presence known on Tyler Colley. He had a huge hit as Colley delivered that one. That was errant, and obviously you know why, because Logan Grenier is about 6'3", 220 pounds coming at you. As Colley's going to roll to his left, they're looking on the double move down to the sideline to Bradford. O'Connell running step for step with him again. Excellent coverage by Nathan O'Connell right in the hip pocket of Andre Bradford.
I mean, these first 8 minutes, Charles, have flown by. This is just the pace has been crazy, I feel like. And, whew, yeah, Colley on the outside looking for Bradford, overthrew the man just a little bit, and good coverage there from the Snowbirds, able to stay with it. This man-to-man defense is got a tall task today, especially with some of the concepts that the Bulldogs are running here on offense.
Yeah, they were trying to hit a double move to Bradford, a little pump the bubble
False
screen,
start
and
here.
that should be a second penalty enforced against the Inland Lakes Bulldogs.
That's actually going to be the third, Charles. They had a pass interference also, but yeah, this is their second on offense. Going to back them up 5. That's going to be the guilty party, I believe, is going to be Andre Bradford, the last play's intended receiver. No, these concepts that we were talking about, they're running these double move wheel routes. That's what Bradford ran there in the attempted pass from Colley.
I believe it was a false start, Christian.
Yeah, just now this was a false start, but yeah, the offense's second false start. Defense had a pass interference earlier, just crazy pace. Another third down attempt here from the Bulldogs.
We've got an update from the Charlevoix-Kingsley game. Charlevoix has struck first on a 62-yard touchdown run. So if you're tuning into that game over on Next Level Broadcasting or on YouTube or nextlevelbroadcasting.net, we got a good game there between two playoff teams. We got a great game here between two playoff teams. We've got a timeout taken here by the Bulldogs. We'll keep it here with you because, well, this game is flying by, so we've got a couple of sponsors that we want to thank. We want to give a shout out to Gaylord Seal Coating. Listen, if you've grown up in northern Michigan, you've grown up with cracked roads, parking lot pavements that you can't trust, and potholes the size of Snowbird offensive linemen. If your driveway, parking lot, or other surface needs an overhaul, check out the pros at Gaylord Seal Coating. And Gaylord Seal Coating, remember, has got you covered in the wintertime as well with some snow plowing ability, so you can get on their books, see for yourself. That's Gaylord Seal Coating. Also, owner Gaylord Seal Coating, Matt Collins, a proud Gaylord St. Mary alumni, played on a state championship or a state runner-up team as well. So thank you, Matt, for allowing Snowbird football to be watched by the comfort of anyone within the comfort of their own homes. Charles Stray along with Christian Swinsicki, Nick Wenzel here. Snowbirds and Bulldogs, we've seen this drive kind of start to slow down for Inland Lakes, but before we get into it, let's check that YouTube chat line, Christian, and see where people are tuning in from.
Yeah, I want to, once again, shout out to Thomas Clementson from South Carolina checking in, and we want to give a shout out to everyone checking in from around the country as an errant throw goes into the end zone.
Yeah.
Incomplete there. That's going to
look like
bring up fourth down.
Miscommunication there between the Bulldog receiver and Tyler Colley. It was intended for Landon Fenstermaker, and it was closer to a Snowbird there right around the goal line. So,
yeah, you can see it, Charles. You can see the reaction by their sideline there. They're not happy with that.
Brings up fourth and very long here for the Bulldogs. They've already gotten one fourth down conversion, but they're 1 for 2 right now.
It's 4th and 14. They need to get to the Snowbird 12-yard line. Ball at the Snowbird 26. Colley rolling to his right. Got a man deep down the sideline to Bradford, and it's over his head. Bradford once again guarded by Nathan O'Connell. Bradford did have a step there, it appeared, but the pass goes over his head. Second turnover on downs by the Bulldogs. Snowbird defense gets another stop.
Well, right there, I mean, that was just a vertical play with a little bit of wheel action there. The two wide receivers inside of Bradford, they ran to the outside. Bradford kind of cuts up field and then cuts back in, able to find himself some real estate, but Colley unable to put the ball on him. That's where it falls incomplete. Makes him 1 for 3 on fourth.
O'Connell hands off to Grenier. Grenier slips through multiple tackles out to the 30-yard line. Give him about 4 yards on that first down carry.
I mean, Grenier is going to be pivotal for the Snowbirds, right, Nick? I mean, he's the big body running back that's going to be your sledgehammer right up the middle.
Absolutely, I would say so.
The heartbeat of the Snowbird offense, able to set them up with 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6s consistently. And we talked about it in the open. The Snowbirds need to take care of 2 things, the ball and their own penalties. So let's see if they can continue to hammer away, pick up 4 to 5 yards. But this Inland Lakes defense so far has been stout. O'Connell, gun 2 back. Here's Grenier again, trying to make his way out near the 35-yard line, brought down at the 34. And it was Colin Maves on the stop. It'll be 3rd and a long 2.
Yeah, I mean, Grenier, that big body just trying to weasel his way through the offensive line. And like you were saying, these consistent 1st and 2nd down carries that get you 4 or 5 yards. I mean, if you're playing with 4 down territory, you just keep running those 4 or 5 yard plays mathematically.
Snowbirds come out in the pistol. Grenier behind O'Connell. Hand off to Grenier. He's still on his feet. He's running. He's into space. Bulldog territory. Grenier's carrying the ball tight in his left arm, brought down at the 29-yard line. Lucas Grenier eventually dragged down from behind by Wyatt Hamill. Let's take another look at this one. Look at him run through contact right at the line of scrimmage, Christian, and I think the pistol look might have confused the Bulldog defensive line.
The thing about that pistol look, Charles, is if you have enough downs, it's like running out of the I formation, right?
Yeah.
The running back's already in motion, and for someone the size of Grenier to be running downhill like that, oh my gosh, it's a load to come down the line, and to see someone at, like you said, 6'3", probably 200 and at least 15 pounds.
Yeah.
It's not an easy tackle.
Snowbirds will hand this one off once more, and Grenier's met in the backfield, this time near the line of scrimmage by Maves.
I wanted to point out also how Grenier, like you said, was holding it high and tight in the left arm.
I mean, that's something that you notice when you call a lot of football games, the positioning and the good just overall ball security there by Grenier when he's running into and breaking away. Not a lot of running backs have that in their bag.
No, as they get set up here for 2nd and long. Maybe that same play.
Low snap, O'Connell pumps it, throws over the middle to Charlie Cameron, one-hands it. Charlie Cameron in for the Snowbird touchdown, put it on the board. O'Connell to Cameron, 28 yards. Snowbird strike here first against the Bulldogs. Charlie Cameron scores it for the Snowbirds, a one-handed snag. Let's take another look at this one because, wow, did Cameron show his catching prowess here and his overall skill.
Can we put that on the ESPN highlight reel?
No kidding, Nick Wenzel, I'm agreeing with you. One-handed over the middle, and they caught me. I was saying they're going to run that same play that they just ran with Grenier on 2nd and long, and they faked it. That was the play action. They fell right for the dive, and instead right over the middle for a wide-open Charlie Cameron, who couldn't have made a better catch.
Put that on ESPN highlight reel.
O'Connell looking to throw it over the intended target. He was looking for Mertz. And the Snowbirds strike here first, but aren't able to punch in the 2-point conversion. They go up 6-0 on their 2nd possession of the game, capped off by that Charlie Cameron 29-yard touchdown reception. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. You're watching Snowbird football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport, TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
And welcome back to Next Level Broadcasting here. Vernier getting ready to send it away after the Snowbirds strike first. The 29-yard touchdown catch by Charlie Cameron.
as the ball falls here off the tee.
Yeah, so we will re-tee it as the Snowbirds are now ready, it appears. And it's off the foot, fielded at the Bulldog 48-yard line. Good hands there by Matthew Crawford. Crawford sets the Bulldogs up on their third possession. Go ahead, Christian.
So for the Bulldogs here, I mean, this is a start of echoes what you guys were talking about, what you and Nick were talking about in the pregame show, is that these penalties have been kind of telling so far a little bit of the story here. And for the Bulldogs, they've been pivotal, some of these penalties. Whether it's on 3rd and long, a false start will push them back and make it longer. Right now, that's what happened their last drive. Let's see if they can keep it clean for one to score.
Tyler Colley sends Perkins in motion. It's the jet sweep to Perkins. And coming up to make the tackle for the Snowbirds is Eli Switalski.
And by the way, that was the 3rd touchdown allowed all season for Inland Lakes.
Yeah.
They haven't, when they've been beating teams, they are shutting them out. So this is only the 2nd game of the season that Inland Lakes has allowed a touchdown, the other being to Hillman when they allowed 2 touchdowns to Hillman.
Hillman also a projected Division II 8-player football playoff team. Colley swings it out to Bradford in the flat, gets one block. Bradford still on his feet.
Oh, good stiff arm.
And Bradford is eventually dragged down after a very sure-handed tackle by Mertz.
Yeah, Mertz got stiff-armed, but
he was still hanging on.
Yes, he was. He wasn't allowing Bradford to get anywhere, and Bradford was trying to shake him free, but good, strong arm from Mertz and able to hold on, and eventually a couple of other Snowbirds are able to help with the tackle. First down, though, for the Bulldogs.
How humbling of that is it to a runner of the ball if you're trying to stiff arm somebody, but you're not getting anywhere. And Mertz just doing a great job of bringing down Bradford. First down for the Bulldogs, though, however, as Colley's going to send Bradford in motion. Here's the jet motion give to Bradford. Works around the corner and upended. What a good tackle by the Snowbirds defensive back so far. That's Eli Switalski, who got down there on his knees and put his shoulder pad into the shin of Bradford.
These are some pretty advanced actions at the high school level here for concepts. We're going to round out the first quarter here. But, I mean, strong concepts from the offense from the Bulldogs, but the Snowbirds have had some stout defense.
So the defense fired up here as the Snowbirds have a 6-0 one-score advantage over the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. We'll step aside. Second quarter coming up after these messages. You're watching Snowbird football here on Next Level Broadcasting. And welcome into the second quarter here, presented by Professional Seamless Gutters. The Inland Lakes Bulldogs have it in Snowbird territory. Ball at the Snowbird 38. Tyler Colley and company. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got a completion to Bradford. Bradford evades Jacobson, but Jacobson is able to push Bradford out of bounds. It will move the chains for the Bulldogs. A gain of 16, maybe 17 yards on the pitch and catch to Bradford.
We've seen this multiple times here, this rollout action from Colley to Bradford, right? Where it's almost as like Bradford's the first person Colley's looking for. Each time he starts rolling out and he's just like, where's 20? I'm going to laser this pass to him. And it's working pretty efficiently right now. They just need to put some points up on the board if you're the Bulldogs. But for the Snowbirds, you need to find a way to contain this rollout action.
First and 10 from the Snowbird 22. Colley looking to throw. Got a little slip screen in the flat to Fenstermaker. Fenstermaker's got the corner. He's got speed. Pushed out of bounds inside the 5 by Joe Jacobson. And Fenstermaker has the Bulldogs set up first and goal. But a flag is thrown at the 20, so we'll have to go back to check the hanky as there's laundry on the field, and it's a hold against the Bulldogs. That's their 4th enforced penalty against the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. Snowbirds still without any penalties enforced against them. That was another part of our keys to the game. And right now, penalties thwarting this Inland Lake Bulldog offense.
I mean, another big play here that is, I shouldn't say another big play, but a big swing like we've been talking about. Penalties are drive killers, and holding specifically is a drive killer, and that's 10 big yards. I mean, wipes away what would have been 1st and goal and now makes it 1st and 20. Yeah.
Colley rolling to his left, pumping it, now throwing deep down the sideline for Bradford, and Colley was leveled by Greenier, and Bradford had close coverage on him by the Snowbirds defensive backs. So far, Christian, watching this game tonight for the Snowbirds defensive backs versus watching the game versus Breckenridge, it's night and day how the Snowbirds have been able to cover these talented Bulldog receivers.
Yeah, and like you said, Greenier put a hit on Colley here. Colley's not really 100% after that last one. He was hands on the knees and hunched over.
Yeah.
After when he went back to the huddle.
And that's the second time that Greenier has really put the oomph to Colley.
Only the second quarter here. A long way to go for Colley. Is
2nd and 17 now for the Bulldogs. Fenstermaker just to the left of Colley. They're going to roll to the left again. Quick throw over the hands of Bradford, and it went through his fingertips. So this is going to be 3rd and Elmira for the Bulldogs here.
Well, Bradford also tall drink of water himself out there. His sails the pass just a little high and out of reach, and it's good coverage from the Snowbirds, having that over-the-top coverage and not letting Bradford get by you because he's got wheels.
See what the Snowbirds can cook up here.
3rd and 17. Colley rolling to his right, throwing down the sideline, and it's incomplete, intended for Bradford. Joe Jacobson doing a good job to break that pass up. If you got Bradford on your fantasy team, you're pleased with the amount of targets, not with the receptions, and credit the Snowbird defense because they've made it really hard for Colley to connect with Bradford when they've needed it most.
I mean, I don't know if Inland Lakes has seen this type of defense all year, at least this type of resistance from a defense, as they were held shut out for the first time, I imagine, for the first quarter all season, and they're going to need to muster up something here on 4th and long.
4th and 17, Colley deep drop. He's going to throw it up for grabs. Batted down by Joe Jacobson at the 10-yard line, and the Snowbird defense stands tall. And the man who doesn't stand over 5'10", Joe Jacobson, swats it down. Big-time play. I see you, Double J. And the Snowbirds will take over at the Snowbird 30-yard line.
Well, that's a big and smart play from Joe Jacobson here as we get this replay. I mean, the batted down, he had a chance for maybe an interception if he goes up with 2, but the reason we say that's a smart play is if you intercept that ball, that puts you back at, what would that be, about the 10-yard line?
Yep, so net gain of 20 yards because he just batted it down. O'Connell hands to Greenier up the middle. He slips through 2 tackles out near the 35-yard line, still carrying that ball tucked underneath it. He's basically got the ball inside his shoulder pad, Christian.
It's an important game, and at this point, it's kind of massive. I mean, one possession could be the big difference here with this type of, with this much gravity. Has, every possession, like you guys said, matters, and so high and tight is as important as it can be right now. You're averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry, not doing too much.
Here's a keeper by O'Connell and a good read by Nathan O'Connell, but the ball comes out. The Snowbirds flash to get on that one as quickly as possible. They do get on it, and it appeared that it was recovered by Calvin Skoronski.
Yep.
And it'll be 3rd and 5, as that's the first ball we've seen put on the turf tonight, and the Snowbirds fortunate to get back on top of that one.
Well, O'Connell, the one who's been getting roughed up on these runs here. O'Connell not really as much of a punisher as Greenier is. Greenier, who when he gets the ball, he's looking to give some pain out. O'Connell's looking to just kind of get the carry.
3rd down conversion so far for the Snowbirds.
One for 2 here.
And they'll take the timeout, and as they take the timeout, we'll keep it right here with you and tell you about Professional Seamless Gutters. Hey, your home gutters are always there when you need them to be, and so is our good friend and St. Mary alumni, Ryan Beningo. And that's why he started Professional Seamless Gutters, because Professional Seamless Gutters offers fast and experienced service and real-time quotes. But wait, there's more. They'll actually answer your phone call. That's right. We've called him on a couple broadcasts before, and he's picked up at 8 o'clock at night.
That's some good showmanship
That's
right there.
Professional Seamless Gutters at 989-619-3407. Tell them that we sent you here from Next Level Broadcasting so you can get those gutters on your home before we get to the winter and rainy part of the fall. Snowbirds up 6-0 over the Inland Lakes Bulldogs here. This is a pivotal 3rd and 5 that the Snowbirds decided that they needed to burn a timeout and talk this one over. Christian, what do you think they do here? Obviously 3 to 4 yards a carry for Greenier so far, but that little play action pass that they hit to Charlie Cameron on the 29-yard touchdown must be looming large in the minds of this Bulldog defensive coaching staff.
I mean, if you look for the consistency, maybe you do go for the Greenier carry here, and if you get close to that marker, you look to maybe go for it on 4th down here.
O'Connell in the option. He's going to keep it, put his shoulder down, and that
Excellent
last
call.
effort got him the first down. We haven't seen them go to that option look so far. It was Eli Foldenauer who brought O'Connell down, but not before O'Connell converts the second 3rd down for the Snowbirds.
That was an excellent call, Charles, because the thing that I was trying to say that's juxtaposed to Greenier is that O'Connell has the wheels, and O'Connell also has a little bit more elusiveness here as we take a look at this replay. I mean, like we just said, that he's able to slide forward for a 1st down, but Greenier trying to lay the hit out. O'Connell trying to evade.
And here's an inability to evade the defense there as the Bulldogs get in and penetrate the Snowbirds running attack there. It'll be 2nd and 10 after no gain on the play.
Oh.
We do have an update from the other game that we're watching here.
Charlevoix Kingsley now. Kingsley has scored 14 straight. It's 14-8. Excuse me, 16-6. Kingsley and Charlevoix, a huge matchup there of some really quality opponents squaring off in Division 6 and Division 7. But here we've got Snowbirds with 2nd and 10. O'Connell hands up the middle to Greenier. He slips through a tackle and once again has 5, maybe 6 yards on that carry. It'll set up 3rd and much more manageable here for the Snowbirds, Christian, after the 1st down yardage wasn't great because of the play by the Bulldog defense, and now they're in 3rd and medium.
Well, 2 for 3 right now in these 3rd down attempts. And, the last time they had one of these, they had an excellent play call, this read option, the speed option to the right. We'll see if they go for that again. They do.
Here's a speed option. Greenier puts his shoulder down into Bulldog territory, brought down there by Wyatt Hannell.
It's going to be where they mark it.
It'll be 4th down for sure. 1 yard or less than a yard, it appears. It'll be 4th. They need to get to the Bulldog 48. The ball is marked inside the Bulldog 49, so they need less than a yard here for the conversion. You thinking tush push here, quarterback sneak?
I think in these short yard situations, I think Greenier's been their sledgehammer. I imagine they're going to go this dive concept again up the middle with Greenier.
Watch that play action pass as well. Hand off to Greenier up the middle, and he's got it.
Brought exactly down, what it was.
Yep, brought down by Hanel and Fenstermaker, but Greenier picks up 3 when the Snowbirds needed just over half yard.
Well, looks like Greenier's a little shaken up on the play there. He's holding the side pretty good.
Well, he's been working hard, Nick, and he's been getting a lot of touches, a lot of carries so far, so I'm sure he's huffing and puffing right now, but this is one of those games where you just got to physically get through it because everybody out there right now wants this game so bad.
Yep.
Here's 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 46.
There he goes.
Hand off to Greenier, up the middle again, slips through 2 tackles down to the Bulldog 40. And right now you're seeing a healthy Logan Greenier and what he can do. Just a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen, but we do want to give credit to the Snowbird offensive line that's enabling him to get some of these open running lanes. As we see the Snowbirds shuffling in some personnel, David Wall's going to come off to the sideline for the Snowbirds. But the offensive line for Gaylord St. Mary, including Jackson Vernier, Charlie Cameron's on the line right now. Jackson Vernier as well. I mean, just these guys have been laying it all out, and Grenier, the other Grenier on the line. And this time, this time, the Snowbirds are stopped in the backfield. This is Logan Grenier, and it was Bradford on the stop. But, Nick, the offensive line here for the Snowbirds, they don't get that much love, but we want to give them some love because they've been doing a great job so far.
Absolutely. They are working really hard.
Working hard, and there's some big bodies along that defensive line here.
Yeah.
However, for the Snowbirds, another third down attempt here, 2 for 4 so far.
Here's a handoff to Grenier, and he'll get some of that yardage back that they lost on second down. It'll be 4th and call it 4. And the Snowbirds will look to go for this one again. So far, Snowbirds are
1 for 2 here on 4th down. Snowbirds have had a couple of big plays here. However, this drive also, we saw a fumble here on this drive to start.
Let's see what they opt to do here. O'Connell with Grenier behind him in the pistol. Handoff to Grenier up the middle, and I don't think he's got it. Second effort, spots the ball inside the 40, but that'll be a turnover on downs. The Bulldog defense stands firm. Andre Bradford in there on the stop, the senior bringing down Grenier, and the Bulldogs get a much-needed defensive stop.
Andre Bradford earlier, just 2 plays ago, was one of the defensive players that got laid out by Grenier. Both of us were kind of taken aback, and that was Bradford on the receiving end. This time, though, Bradford able to stick it to Grenier, able to get a 4th down stop, and Bulldogs able to get the ball back in the offense's hands.
You know, Christian, I couldn't agree better. But I'm pretty sure if you're Coach O'Connell sitting up there in the press box, he's got to be saying, hey, that's not what we need here. We need to get a stop here.
Exactly, Nick, that's a big play right there. That was Bradford on the bubble screen to the outside, unable to get anywhere, got upended by the Snowbirds. 2nd and long here. And these Inland Lake Bulldogs they're looking to find some consistency here on offense.
You can just hear a pin drop in the crowd again. It's just quiet.
I've just been so impressed with the defensive back play for the Snowbirds here tonight, Christian. It's really been impressive as Colley's going to roll to his left. Got a completion right there, but brought down as soon as he's making the catch is Landon Fenstermaker and Nathan O'Connell right there on the stop. Maybe 1 yard on the play. Maybe.
Another 3rd down attempt here, 3rd and long. And the Bulldogs over on all their 3rd down attempts.
We talked about the sellout here tonight. There's a look at the stands and in the crowd here.
That's
as
amazing.
Tonight's game brings in
Excellent
spectators from everywhere. I mean, if you're anywhere in a 30-mile radius and a fan of Ski Valley football, you're here. As Colley and the Bulldogs have a 3rd and long. He'll roll to his left and is pitching it back to Fenstermaker. Fenstermaker with a lot of room, and Fenstermaker's brought down. Ball comes out late, but he was down.
Yeah.
He was eventually brought down by David Wall all the way back there at the Snowbird 32-yard line. And a nice-looking play. Let's take another look at this one. Was this like a little Statue of Liberty maybe, Christian? Because it looked like Colley faked everybody out.
Yeah, I mean, it was very sneaky. That's going to be a pass play for Colley, actually, because he shoveled it forward into Fenstermaker's hands. Excellent play design, because I was wondering where he found time to get it to him. He was running right, Charles, and all of a sudden the ball was going left.
So the Bulldogs pull a rabbit out of their hat. That play call was very cheeky as Colley looking to throw, getting pressure by the Snowbirds, being chased by Vernier, and Colley is brought down at the inside the 20, but this should be a block in the back or an illegal crackback block against the Bulldogs. This refereeing crew was right on top of it. Flag was thrown at the 25-yard line as Tyler Colley was scrambling and picking up 1st down yardage, but this will be enforced from the 25. The ball right now where it was snapped, it was at the 32. And no crackback, just a hold against the Bulldogs, so that'll back them up 10 yards.
Another drive killer. They had a holding call in this exact spot the last drive.
Yeah.
and it got him nothing. It got him 1st and 20 is what it got him.
Tell you what, you got to give a shout out to the whole entire Snowbird defense out here. They're doing absolutely well, and you know, as well as their coaching staff on the sideline, they know what calls they're coming up with. They know what they're doing. You know, they're doing such a great job with this team this year.
2 down defensive linemen for the Snowbirds, Jackson Vernier and Lucas Greenier. Colley takes a hot snap. He's rolling to his right, and he had pressure coming hot from Calvin Skoronski, and it forces the early throw by Colley. And credit Calvin Skoronski there, coming from the edge position to put enough pressure on Tyler Colley to force him to get rid of that ball early, Christian.
Yeah, good pressure there on Colley. And Colley, he's been running in the backfield the majority of this first half, either rolling out or running to avoid pressure. He's got wheels. He's got the athleticism to get away from pressure. And usually his go-to guy has been Bradford. I imagine that's who he's going to be looking at least here on 2nd down.
It's 2nd and 13 to go for the Bulldogs. And every drive the Bulldogs have had has gotten into Snowbird territory, but it's just stalled out due to good Snowbird defense and or penalties by the Bulldogs. Low snap, and Colley's going to roll back. Deep shot down the field. He's got a man, and it's caught inside the 5 all the way down there with Landon Perkins. He's hauling it in, and the Bulldogs are 1st and goal on the night for the completion from Colley to Perkins.
Yeah, Perkins, I mean, he kind of either or really open. Bradford was open for a short gain up the middle, but Colley was able to break free of that zone defense, it looked like. It just unable to put a little bit more air under it to get him in the end zone, but what an excellent play design there for the Bulldogs.
It goes down as a 32-yard completion. Colley alone by himself trying to work up the middle. The Snowbirds trying to stack him up. Colley reaching for the goal line, and he's in. And we're tied up at 6 points via the Tyler Colley 3-yard touchdown run. The Bulldogs have struck back and counterpunched. And the Snowbirds Bulldogs knotted up at 6 points apiece. Wouldn't have it any other way in a game of this magnitude, Christian.
Well, both these teams are going to have to do some work to get to their seasonal averages, right? Because we were saying in the pregame show that in the Bulldogs,
here's a 2-point conversion attempt, good to Bradford, as Tyler Colley's able to hit his man for the quick little hitter. And they quick snapped us a little bit. And Bradford was able to get some room, and Colley put it right on him, and this time they were able to complete. And the Snowbirds now down 2 points after the Bulldogs get their first points of the game on that nice-looking touchdown drive, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, unable to really get a whole lot of momentum on the defense. Big play after big play. Bulldogs finding their offense. Like I was saying, both teams are going to need to put in some work to get to their seasonal averages. However, Bulldogs now with a lead after their successful 2-point conversion, and we'll see how the Snowbirds answer back.
Let's see what we have here for the Snowbirds. Getting ready to send it away is Elijah Elliott, number 3 for the Bulldogs. Back deep for the Snowbirds, standing at his own 33-yard line is Mertz, but this one's fielded by Eli Switalski, and he's thrown out of bounds at the 43-yard line after a 3-yard return. So we'll see O'Connell and the Snowbird offense coming back out here after they turned it over on downs their last possession, looking to answer back after the Bulldogs, courtesy of that big play to Perkins, the 32-yard pass. Can the Snowbirds come back with another big play of their own? So far tonight, Christian, it's been the passing attacks that have made the big splash plays. You had the 29-yard touchdown to Charlie Cameron, and that was not a touchdown to Perkins, but a big splash play.
Yeah, and the play action attempt here.
O'Connell has to get rid of this one, trying to just dump the ball. He did have a receiver in the area intended for Greenier, but the Bulldog defense was almost making a game-changing play on that.
I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a play-action screen pass or what, but it looked as though he was trying to fake it and go for that play action and hit deep, but the pressure was there pretty quickly. I did see a lineman standing over there. Not sure if maybe that was supposed to be a screen, but just on.
It looked like they were setting up that slip screen to Greenier. So it's 2nd and 10 as the ball falls harmlessly to the ground. Greenier up the middle. He's brought down there by Damian Bradford. And Bradford, big number 75, making another play right around the line of scrimmage. If they do rule that a tackle for loss, that'll be the 2nd TFL for Damian Bradford on the evening.
Inland Lakes fans travel well as the crowd is getting loud for the Bulldogs here. A 3rd down attempt, a long 3rd down attempt for the Snowbirds. Snowbirds right now 2 for 5.
Snowbirds are going to shuffle in some different personnel, and let's see what they opt to go here formation-wise on 3rd and 11. O'Connell trying to organize the troops. He'll send Switalski and Mertz now to the near side of the field.
Play clock running down.
Yes, it is. There's the snap. O'Connell's going to keep it, and O'Connell's going to be dumped for a loss. Coming in to make the play is Colin Maves. And the Bulldog defense stands firm again, and the Snowbirds will be forced to punt here. Maves gets the sack on O'Connell.
I believe the timeout taken by the Bulldogs.
Timeout taken here by the Inland Lakes Bulldogs, hoping to save and preserve as much clock as possible. It will be the Snowbirds who will receive the 3rd quarter kickoff, Christian. So Inland Lakes maybe right now thinking they can get some more points on the board before halftime. While we have a second, let's tell you about the Gaylord Eye Care Center. Hey, did the refs not see that, or was it just your eyes playing a little trick on you? And you know that refs are never wrong, so it's time to come in for the free consultation you can get at the Gaylord Eye Care Center with their 4 locations in Gaylord, Boyne City, Sheboygan, and Bel Air. Get back in the game with the Gaylord Eye Care Center, a local vision source provider. Also, the Gaylord Eye Care Center can get you back to the top of your game this fall. Snowbirds and Bulldogs at the top of their game right now. We've got a 2-point affair. Inland Lakes has just taken the lead, and they're up 8-6. Snowbirds will send Nathan O'Connell back to punt this one away. And it's an end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce at the 35-yard line and roll out of bounds, unreturnable by Andre Bradford. And that's probably best for the Snowbirds because the dangerous return man, Bradford, was licking his chops standing at the 30-yard line. But Snowbirds well-positioned there, kicking it out of bounds.
And Bradford got some wheels. We saw him with the ball in his hands a little earlier with a couple of jukes and jives on the first drive. However, I mean, it's been pretty quiet from both teams offensively since then, aside from Inland Lakes' last drive where they were able to come together with a couple of big explosive plays. Minute and a half to go here. Snowbirds, I mean, you got to play some – you got to make sure you just don't let anyone get behind you and don't let any of these, kind of backyard football plays get the most of you.
This time the Bulldogs go Wildcat with Bradford alone by himself. He'll motion Fenstermaker behind him. Bradford now looking for a running lane, cuts it back, but cuts right into the heart of the Snowbird defense, brought down by Jackson Vernier. And it's maybe a 2-yard gain, but that play cost the Bulldogs a decent amount of time on the clock. Christian, do you anticipate seeing more passing here for Inland Lakes?
No, if I'm Inland Lakes, I think with the way their defense has been playing since the first drive, I think they might honestly let this clock run down here, and we might just see them go to the half. I mean, a 2-point lead at this juncture.
More right valuable than the time.
Right, yeah, right now I think you are just going to be happy to walk away with the lead.
Yeah, really letting this play clock and game clock run down. Here's a rollout to his right, looking to throw back across his body, and it's incomplete. We do have a penalty marker thrown. This will be roughing the passer, and we've been watching it closely. This time, Lucas Greenier was just too late, and he's hit Collie a couple times, but this time he gets whistled for the roughing the passer penalty.
Well, it's going to be a shot of adrenaline there for Collie, and hey, if you're Inland Lakes, maybe that was the play all along here. You're going to try and see if you can get something that's going to get you a shot or get you a first down or get you some form of free yards. And they're going to move that 15. And that, I mean, a couple of pass plays now, you might be able to keep chucking it.
First penalty enforced against the Snowbirds here tonight comes with 41 seconds left to go in the second quarter. So if you told the coaches when their first penalty would come, I think they would take it, but maybe not here to extend and give the Bulldogs a little sign of life here on this penultimate possession of the second quarter. Colley looking to throw, dropping back, rolling around to his right, down the sideline, over the intended target's head, intended for Landon Fenstermaker. And we're at 35 seconds remaining to go in the second quarter.
Great job there by my cousin Kelvin, number 1 down there, just deflecting that pass away.
Calvin Skoronsky was in there on the coverage, and this will make it a 2nd and 10. Ball on the Bulldog 47. Like I said, Snowbirds will receive the third quarter kickoff. So if you're too careful, or if you're not careful enough, Snowbirds, they do have 2 timeouts left. So if the Bulldogs continue to throw the ball and get incomplete passes, the Snowbirds could preserve those timeouts for their potential possession here to end the quarter. So we'll see how the Bulldogs want to manage this clock.
Interesting strategy here from the Bulldogs.
They'll send 3 receivers to the bottom. Colley rolling to his left, deep down the sideline, and it's caught. Oh, almost caught. Could not reel it in was Tanner Howard. Colley put it right on the money, but Howard wasn't able to run underneath it. Let's take another look at that one, Christian. What do you see? I mean, Howard's, you got to reel that one in if you're Howard for the Bulldogs, right?
I mean, Howard had to run a little bit under it, but yeah, no, you're right. That's something that he laid out for, and here, I mean, here's the replay. Full extension almost, but yeah, that's one that you got to get under. Use your hands. That's trying to help, you know, catch it underhanded, have the chest help you. But I bet you come film session, coach is going to say, you can use your hands.
You know, I was just going to add something to it. You know, there was something that on the sideline there that Coach Adam Corson did not like to see out of his players there.
So another incomplete pass stops the clock with 29 seconds remaining. We've got another Wildcat formation here for the Bulldogs. Motioning Colley. It's going to be a pitch back. Colley looking to throw over the middle. He's got a completion to his receiver. Slips through a tackle down inside the 30. Eventually dragged down by Nathan O'Connell is Wyatt Hanel. And Hanel and the Bulldogs have their shop set up with 20 seconds left to go at the 25-yard line, courtesy of that pitch pass. Clock will start here. No, only 1 timeout left for Inland Lakes. Colley in an empty set. Puts it up, hit, and it's intercepted. Nathan O'Connell comes down with it at the 2-yard line. Penalty marker is thrown, though, right at the 2. We'll have to check the penalty and see what it is. It's thrown near the goal line where the ball was intercepted. Greenier also put a big-time hit on Colley. Let's take a look at this one.
I'm going to guess it's roughing the kicker because
it won't be roughing the kicker. I guarantee that, Nick. Here's the pass. Nathan O'Connell. Are they going to call that PI? That left hand? Are they going to call that PI? Let's break it down and show you in slow-mo here. Here is the call that we think we might be getting. And it is pass interference against the Inland Lakes Bulldogs.
Wow.
There it is. O'Connell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so offensive pass interference.
So that was on Bradford there. Bradford, when they got to when Colley threw the bomb up, he was throwing a prayer to Bradford. Bradford with the little bit of handsy there on O'Connell before O'Connell went for the interception, and an excellent play from O'Connell because that was a third down. I mean, there was still time left, and look, the Bulldogs still had a timeout, so they could still be attempting to go for points here.
It was first down, and the Snowbirds get a monumental defensive stop. They're going to take a knee here and take it into halftime, down by 2. Snowbirds defense really showed up multiple times in that first half. The only difference in the game, the Bulldogs converted the 2-point conversion. The Snowbirds were not able to do so, and that is the difference on the scoreboard as the Bulldogs have an 8-6 lead over the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. We're going to go ahead and send it to commercial break. We'll recharge our batteries, reset a little bit. When we come back, we'll have our halftime show here, and then second half football between the Snowbirds and the Bulldogs. You're watching Gaylord St. Mary football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
We all know Northern Michigan winters take a toll on our parking lots and driveways, but Gaylord Seal Coating has you covered. A proud sponsor of local high school athletics, Gaylord Seal Coating specializes in infrared seamless asphalt repair, hot pour crack filling, striping, and more. Need a new snowplow solution this winter? GSC can do that too. Commercial, residential, private roadways, and associations, Gaylord Seal Coating is your answer. Give them a call today at 989-732-5003.
Hi, I'm Orion, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installations, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike other service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding your gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Are you interested in building a new home or renovating an existing one? With over 100 years of combined experience, J&J Construction is one of the most reliable and respected general contractors in our service area. J&J is a trusted construction partner valued by architects, subcontractors, financiers, and most of all, their clients. J&J Construction has been completing quality homes and improvement projects that add value to the communities they serve. They bring a passion for innovation and a commitment to quality to every job they do. Call them today.
Vision Source and Gaylord Eye Care are proud to be offering their services to local communities across northern Michigan. With locations in Gaylord, Boyne City, Bel Air, and Sheboygan, they're committed to serving you and providing a trusted source of credentials and expertise. If you're struggling with anything vision related, then don't hesitate to schedule a consultation and meet their friendly and experienced staff for yourself.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
Hi, I'm Orion, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installations, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike other service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding your gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Hi, I'm Orion, but you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installations, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike other service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding your gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
All right, good afternoon and now officially good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Professional Seamless Gutters halftime show. I'm Charles Strail, Christian Swinsicki, and Nick Wenzel, and we got a 2-point game between the Inland Lakes Bulldogs and the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds, highlighted by a couple of touchdown passes. And Christian, we want to talk about the play that St. Mary hit to Charlie Cameron to get the game scored. It was a 29-yard touchdown catch. Cameron reeled it in with one hand, and he did a great job. And the Snowbird offense maybe have to go back to that a little bit more to loosen up this Bulldog defense.
Well, they tried going to that on their last drive there before they turned it over on downs. I mean, that scoring drive that you were talking about there, we have, we're highlighting the 29-yard touchdown catch, but what happened just a couple of plays before? It was the Logan Green dive up the middle. That was a good 30 to 40-yard run, right? The one where he's got the ball left hand up high. The play actually was totally set up from the dive up the middle, and they had been setting it up all game long at that point with his ability to dive up the middle and get 3 to 4 yards. With keeping that consistently going on the offense, they've tried going back to it. It's just it hasn't worked. And with that said, I mean, they tried it again on the last play. However, the timing hasn't been there. The defense has been able to disrupt it. This has been a game so far of just kind of a couple of big plays, right?
Yeah. The Perkins catch for the Bulldogs, that 32-yard one for Perkins.
Mm-hmm. It really just a couple of drives have stalled out or they fizzled out. Holding call here, and when the Snowbirds got their score, they were aided by the 15-yard pass interference, right? So it's been just a couple of plays that have been able to be the driving force to this game. Right now, it's kind of been a big defensive story so far. But like we've said, those exceptions are the big plays.
Really the only difference in today's game so far has been the 2-point conversion that Inland Lakes was able to convert. Gaylord St. Mary was not able to get it. Nick, let's bring you in. Earlier on, we talked about the Snowbird turnovers and the Snowbird penalties. Snowbirds with no turnovers so far, only with 1 penalty so far in the game. You said that in order for them to be victorious, they have to have less than 9.
Yep.
They're well on track for keeping it underneath that benchmark. What else do you think the Snowbirds need to do? And you think like maybe getting the ball out on the perimeter a little bit more to their playmakers in space?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say earlier, they need to get both of their left-siders and the right side guys open, wide open downfield. Look for a pass if you can. If not, cut your way into a horizontal, maybe cut your way into the middle of the field and then get a pass wide open in the middle and just run for it.
And that's what they did on that play pass they hit to Charlie Cameron. They went and really the game changed when the Snowbirds went to that pistol formation with Greenier behind O'Connell in that pistol, and they were able to hit that play action pass to Charlie Cameron. So we'll see what type of adjustments that either one of these two teams will make here. Snowbirds will receive the third quarter kickoff. We're going to let Christian go down and get to the sidelines. He's going to interview one of the Snowbird assistant coaches. So we'll let him break away from us. This has been the Professional Seamless Gutters halftime show. We'll step aside, and when we come back, Christian will catch up with one of the Snowbird assistant coaches, and then we'll get you ready for the second half here. You're watching Gaylord St. Mary football here on Next Level Broadcasting. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
Today's game is presented by J&J Construction, Gaylord Seal Coating, Robert T. Westerman, Attorney at Law, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Party Store, Mama Leone's, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, The Powerhouse Gym, Gaylord Eye Care Center, Traverse City TVC Cherry Capital Airport, and Sky Media 45. We hope you are enjoying tonight's game.
We all know Northern Michigan winters take a toll on our parking lots and driveways, but Gaylord Seal Coating has you covered. A proud sponsor of local high school athletics, Gaylord Seal Coating specializes in infrared seamless asphalt repair, hot pour crack filling, striping, and more. Need a new snowplow solution this winter? GSC can do that too. Commercial, residential, private roadways, and associations, Gaylord Seal Coating is your answer. Give them a call today at 989-732-5003.
Are you interested in building a new home or renovating an existing one? With over 100 years of combined experience, J&J Construction is one of the most reliable and respected general contractors in our service area. J&J is a trusted construction partner valued by architects, subcontractors, financiers, and most of all, their clients. J&J Construction has been completing quality homes and improvement projects that add value to the communities they serve. They bring a passion for innovation and a commitment to quality to every job they do. Call them today.
But you might know me for my business, Professional Seamless Gutters, where we specialize in, you guessed it, everything gutters. New installations, replacements, cleaning, leaf guards, rain chains, and much more. But unlike other service providers, when you call Professional Seamless Gutters, you get me, Orion, not some bum intern or call center recording. So when you're contemplating any services regarding your gutters on your home or pole barn, think Professional Seamless Gutters.
Now's the time to fly from your Northern Michigan hometown Cherry Capital Airport. TVC. TVC Airport will get you to your dream destination anywhere in the world. Visit tvcairport.com now.
Question. Okay, we're going to welcome back to the halftime show here. I'm Charles Trail, joined by Nick Wenzel. We're going to send it down to Christian Swinsicki, who's with defensive coordinator Adam Corson. Christian. And we'll work on getting Christian's mic here back here shortly. And we'll see if we can get something again.
Coach?
Yeah, we got you here, Christian. Did you
guys got me up there?
We got you now. Go ahead and spin around to us, and you can deliver the message what you're able to receive there.
Oh. Hello.
We'll have to come back with this message from Christian. We'll get things rolling again here as we want to proceed with the Professional Seamless Gutters halftime show here. Charles Trail, Nick Wenzel in the booth. Christian Swinsicki working the sidelines, just getting some information on what the Snowbirds saw. And, well, we'll just have Christian come back up in the booth and get things rolling and get ready to rock and roll for the second half. The Snowbirds will receive the third quarter kickoff, and when they do receive that, it'll be Nathan O'Connell heading back out there at quarterback to go along with Lucas Grenier. But, Nick, we want to highlight some of the offensive linemen for the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds that have been opening up some nice rushing lanes so far. Calvin Skoronski to go along with Jackson Vernier, Lucas Grenier, among others, also Charlie Cameron.
Yep.
Opening up some good rushing lanes, not only for Nathan O'Connell, but also for Logan Grenier. So when they've been able to get those running lanes open, it's allowed them to then set up the play action pass, which is what they hit the Cameron touchdown on.
Yep. Well, as you could see earlier, you know, my cousin Calvin Skoronski down there on the left end zone closest to us, down there on that sideline, deflecting that pass out of bounds away from that player, and you know, he did pretty good throwing that pass away. But like you said earlier, Grenier and Charlie Cameron are both good effective players. They are tough, strong, and they know how to run. They know how to rush. You know how to stop the guys.
All right, let's bring back in Christian Swinsicki here. He was down on the sidelines, able to get us caught up with a little bit. Christian, what did the vibe down there feel like for the Snowbirds? Are they ready to go here in the second half?
It's an intense vibe. Charles, to put it this way, I tried talking to Coach Corson and to Coach O'Connell. Both of them said it's too big of a game.
Okay.
It is straight business down there on the sidelines. That is exciting here if you're a Snowbirds fan, because the both of them, when I went up to him, I said, Coach, you got time for just one quick thing for me to say? And the both of them said, not right now, brother.
Okay.
It's too important.
This game just means more. It's like the SEC, but on steroids here in the Ski Valley, as the Bulldogs and the Snowbirds are ready to go here for the second half of action. Thanks for making us a part of your Friday night festivities, tuning in from the comfort of wherever you find comfort. It's Elijah Elliott kicking off for the Inland Lakes Bulldogs, up by a deuce over the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. And this goes off the foot of the Snowbirds, and the Bulldogs have got it. Recovering the onside kick. It bounced off the shin of Charlie Cameron, and the Bulldogs get the first takeaway of the game as the Snowbirds are unable to handle the onside kick. Can I call it a takeaway, or just they recovered the onside?
That's
one
an
way
onside recovery.
Yeah. I can't necessarily say it's a turnover, but it'll be Bulldog football here as they come out and field the onside kick. And the Snowbird defense right now is going to have to make a stand.
Well, reminiscent of the 2009 Super Bowl between, well, no, it might have been the 2010
Saints.
The 2009 Super Bowl, Saints and Colts out of the half. The onside kick, we'll see how it pays off if they can put points on the board.
Here's Colley looking to break the pocket. He's got the first down and a lot of yardage. Tyler Colley tracked down at the 26-yard line by Nathan O'Connell. And the Bulldogs gash this Snowbird defense on the first play from scrimmage in the second half.
Yes. O'Connell and I believe Joe Jacobson. Joe Jacobson coming in from the safety position, and O'Connell from the linebacker spot. Good high-low tackle to bring down Colley, but Colley was I mean, it was a good open lane up the middle, almost looked like a quarterback draw.
Collie looking to throw here, now drops this one off to Fenstermaker, and he's unable to catch it cleanly. Fenstermaker might have heard some footsteps by Eli Switalski, who was closing in on him quickly, and that one falls harmlessly to the turf. 2nd and 10 now for the Lakes.
That was a tough one. It was kind of low and away from Fenstermaker there. Collie didn't really put it on him, but Collie also had pressure coming in, bearing down on him. Crowd is one thing I didn't get to talk about there coming back from the sidelines, Charles, was how exciting the crowd is just down there. Right now they're quiet, and as the defense and the offense are kind of getting back to work. But during the halftime, there was energy down there. The crowd was up and all over the place. It seems like a close game. That's because it is.
It almost feels like you're sitting in Ford Field right now, Christian.
Collie's got a completion on the sideline. This one is caught once again. And making the completion is Perkins.
Good out route there, or a hitch route there. Good enough for another 3rd down attempt for the Bulldogs. Collie off the tackle to the right. He's going to have what looks to be enough.
Yeah, just a nice little 3rd down conversion there for the Bulldogs, able to keep it going on the ground with Collie's legs.
If I were to tell you that was their first 3rd down conversion attempt, would you believe me?
No, I wouldn't.
Well,
was that a rhetorical question?
That was a rhetorical question. That
Okay.
was their first 3rd down conversion right there. That they've
Bulldogs trying to take this this opening possession of the 3rd quarter all the way in for opening half touchdown. There's a high snap. Bradford still gets it. Bradford cuts it back, and he's in for a Bulldog touchdown. Bulldogs come out swinging here, courtesy of the 14-yard touchdown run. Andre Bradford takes what looked to be a broken play, and the Bulldogs put it on the board and go up 14-6. And this is a huge 2-point conversion, or should they opt to kick the extra point here, because this would make it a 2-score game if they're able to convert. It's currently an 8-point difference between Inland Lakes and Gaylord St. Mary. This is huge right now. Collie in the gun 2 back. He's going to roll out, boot, and it's blocked. Swatted away at the last second by Joe Jacobson to keep it a 1-possession game.
Big play.
Another great play in the secondary by Joe Jacobson to keep the Bulldogs from adding 2 more points, making it a 10-point game. But no, Joe Jacobson says, not on my watch, and it's still just a 1-possession game after the Joe Jacobson defensive stop.
Well, we see JJ.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back to the offense here, Snowbirds need to kind of put together something. Inland Lakes came out of this half firing like a cannon. I mean, I think they caught everyone off guard with that pseudo onside kick here. We'll see if special teams is more alert of it this time. Yeah, they're rushing out another man to get out there to kind of shore up this front line.
Coach Corson's all fired up on the sideline down there. He's trying to get his players back in check the way they need to be.
And here's another pooch kick fielded at the 39-yard line by the Snowbirds. Coming out of there with it is Braden Durecki. And
Senior.
A good-handed catch by the Snowbirds after the Bulldogs take the opening possession and only use 1 minute and 17 seconds to expand their lead. Snowbirds down by 8 points. They'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Kind of went for the throat there a little bit coming out of the half. They said, we're not going to let the Snowbirds get any kind of momentum coming out, not if we don't have it first.
Handoff up the middle to Logan Grenier, and he plunges his way for about 3 yards, and it's now 14 consecutive straight points scored by the Bulldogs after they were down 6-0 after the Snowbirds struck first in this game. Does St. Mary have a counterpunch back after the Bulldogs have delivered a couple of jabs?
So Snowbirds, they need to put together a couple of good plays and a couple of good first down here, or at least that one big play, because it's been stagnant since their first drive.
Since that that Charlie Cameron touchdown. Low snap, O'Connell has to get back on it. He's able to do so, but it'll go as a 5-yard loss as O'Connell just had to eat the football. That's the first bad snap we've seen for the Snowbirds here so far. That's been plaguing this team so far this year.
Well,
they've had some trouble with the snaps.
I'm noticing the body language, Charles. This body language tells the whole story, right? I'm seeing the Bulldogs. Their body energy is kind of all over the place. They're excited. They're jumping around. A couple of plays that didn't go the Snowbirds' way. You can't let this snowball. Otherwise, this is just going to get out of control. Especially with how fast the Bulldogs. Sorry, Charles, how fast the Bulldogs can score.
It's 3rd and 11. They need to get to midfield to pick up this first down. Hand off to Grenier, and Grenier is still moving. Gets some of that yardage that they lost on 2nd down back, and it'll be 4th and 7. Maybe 4th and 6 from where they spot it. So it'll be 4th and 6. Decision time here for the Snowbirds to determine what they want to do.
I'd like to see some creativity here from the Snowbirds here on these drives. A whole lot of handing off to Grenier and kind of hoping that the execution goes up. I mean, the Bulldogs have been able to kind of snuff out these 4 or 5 yard runs and turn them into 1 to 2 yard runs.
Here's 4th and 6, maybe hard count here, see if you can get a free 5. They do snap it. O'Connell's going to keep it. O'Connell is brought down, and he does not have the first down. It was a late shoestring tackle made by the Bulldogs, Eli Foldenauer, and it's very close. It's within a yard. They're marking the football. And we'll have to check it. Well, it's about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. They needed the 50, and they got to the 48. So the Snowbirds turn it over on their first possession of the second half, and the Bulldogs have it back up by 8. Snowbird defense really needs to come away and bend their back and get this 3 and out or force another turnover.
Yeah, exactly that, because like we said, if the points get scored here,
Colley's going to keep it on the option. He's using his legs a lot this third quarter. Still on his feet, brought down from behind by George Mertz. And Colley is 1 yard shy of a first down, tackled at the 40-yard line.
Good spin move from Colley there. He had a Snowbird trying to drag him down, and he spun away like the washer, getting the dirt off of the jersey in a way.
He was in the spin cycle there before Mertz was able to bring him down, and maybe the Bulldogs at halftime decided, let's put it on the legs of Tyler Colley a little bit more, as Fenstermaker has it, makes a cut in the backfield, still on his feet. Fenstermaker brought down there after a nice run by Calvin Skoronski. It'll be first down yardage for the Bulldogs on the Fenstermaker run. Give them 6 yards on the carry.
Yeah, I mean, juking and jiving his way past the line of scrimmage, pushes the chains. The whole defense kind of saw the play go one way. Fenstermaker went the other way.
If you're just now joining us, the Bulldogs kicked off to the Snowbirds to start this third quarter, and it went off the shin of a Snowbird. Bulldogs recovered it and then proceeded to score a touchdown. Now we've got a defensive line infraction by the Snowbirds. This will be against Jackson Vernier, and that'll give a free 5 yards to the Bulldogs, and the ball will be marked now at the 34-yard line. If you're the Snowbirds, you don't want to self-destruct here. You want to settle down and really just make sure that you focus on the next play. You can't let previous plays dictate the type of action that you put forward and let those foggy thoughts affect your play. Colley going to boot to his right, looking to throw deep down the middle. Got a completion there, and it's caught by Perkins, and Perkins is brought down at the 10-yard line.
Colley is so good rolling out, huh?
Yeah, completion of 18 yards.
Just rolling to the right and finding a man downfield. I thought he was going to throw to Bradford, but instead
it'll be 1st and goal.
Gets it to Perkins, and Perkins gets them the 1st and goal. Snowbirds, Charles, like you were saying, they're going to need to bow their backs a little bit and get this back in line.
Colley will pitch this one and trying to get the corner, but unable to do so. Maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain coming there for the Bulldogs. That's Andre Bradford. He's brought down inside the 5. Give him actually 7 yards on the carry, running near side, so I wasn't really able to see how far he advanced forward. But it'll be 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line now for Inland Lakes, looking to.
Where's the energy right now from the Snowbirds on defense? We're gonna need to see a little bit more of it if they're gonna stick it to the Bulldogs and stop them here.
Here's 2nd and goal for Inland Lakes. And they come to this goal line shotgun formation a lot. Collie gonna roll to his right, and it's defended well by the Snowbirds, broken up nicely by George Mertz, intended for Perkins, and just a little corner route flood concept. And Mertz doing a good job. Almost had his hands around that one for the interception. That would have been huge.
Well, the Bulldogs have done a good job of taking out this crowd here to start the second half. A lot of action right now is coming from the Bulldogs side of the field.
Here's 3rd and goal. Wildcat now with Bradford. He's going to go right up the middle, and Bradford's going to be in for the touchdown. Andre Bradford scores it on the 3-yard touchdown run. Bulldogs go up 20-6. It's a 14-point lead. Let's see if they opt to go for 2 once again, and they will. Collie back in the gun 2-back formation. He's going to hand off to Fenstermaker, and Fenstermaker is denied. A great defensive effort by the Snowbirds, and Eli Switalski there on the stop, preventing the Bulldogs from punching in the 2-point conversion, yet still Inland Lakes extends it to a 14-point 2-possession lead now, and the Snowbirds have a huge mountain to climb here, but they do have the benefit of time. They still have 6 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. Christian, what can the Snowbirds do to get back into this game? Because they feel like they're kind of a boxer right now, up against the ropes, kind of reeling after the Bulldogs have delivered maybe a haymaker here to start this 3rd quarter.
Well, we're going to need to see them be a little bit more creative here on offense, right? Of the plays we've seen, I think I've counted 4 or 5, maybe 6 of them right now have been just straight handoffs to Greenier for 2-3 yards. We're going to need to see a little bit more diversity on the play calling here, and get the Bulldogs maybe out of position and maybe catch them off guard.
Here's a return here by George Mertz. It'll set the Snowbirds up with their 2nd possession of the 3rd quarter at the 36-yard line. They've got to get something going here offensively just to give their defense a little bit of time to just relax. And I think because most players play both ways in 8-man football, if you're able to see some positive returns offensively, get a point on the board, whether it's 3, 6, or 8, it would really help the overall enthusiasm for this Snowbird team. Handoff up the middle to Greenier, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the carry. First Bulldog at the bottom of the pile was Alex Willis, number 24, making a tackle for loss. It'll be 2nd and 11 now for the Snowbirds.
I do want to point out for those at home, you can't tell right now on the camera, but it is raining out there.
Make that 2nd and 11, and the rain starting to come down. Coming virtually straight down. Not a lot of wind out there tonight. Just a very mute, cold evening for football between the Bulldogs and the Snowbirds. The Snowbirds will come out in the shotgun now. O'Connell takes the snap.
Option.
He'll keep it. The Bulldogs defended the option play very well. O'Connell was brought down by Mason Green, and it's now 3rd and 9 as the rain really starting to amass.
It's going to make that ball a little wetter, but for the Snowbirds, you can't let that deter you right now. 3rd and long, you might have to go into the playbook and throw.
Let's see what they want to dial up here on 3rd and long. A gotta have it play for this Snowbird team. They'll send twins to the top of the formation. Nathan O'Connell in the gun. Looking to throw. There's a screen. It's complete. The Snowbirds hit it on the tunnel screen. It's Eli Switalski who's got the completion. Give him 6 yards on the reception. And he's down at the Snowbird 43-yard line. It'll be 4th and a long 3 for the Snowbirds to convert this one.
I mean, another third down attempt here that was playing for fourth down if you're the Snowbirds, but these fourth down conversions, I mean, you're going to need to see this percentage go up right now, 1 for 4.
Rain really starting to come down right now. Empty formation for Nathan O'Connell. He's going to look to throw. Little hitch route intended for Mertz, and it's incomplete. Bounces down at the 50-yard line, and the Snowbirds turn it over. Another stop on fourth down by the Inland Lakes Bulldog defense. Christian, we talked about it a lot in the first half. Fourth and third down conversions. So far, the Bulldogs have turned that on its head.
I mean, these 1 for 5 right now for the Snowbirds. They're going to need to improve that percentage, but 2 for 8 on third downs, and right now, especially if you're playing for fourth down, you really need to make sure you convert those fourth downs. I mean, finding yourself on second and long, third and long, just isn't a winning formula on offense, unfortunately. And however, that you're going to need to ask some more out of your defense.
Here's a handoff to Fenstermaker. He's going to cut it back, still on his feet, and he's slung down by his jersey, lassoed down by Greenier after a 6-yard pickup on first down.
Came up with some words to say to Greenier there. Fenstermaker with a little bit of pop coming up out of that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
run.
he had a little bit of aggressiveness.
Here's a rerun here. I mean, let's count how many tackles that he's able to get through. 1, 2, 3, 4, just unwillingness to be brought down. 2nd and 4. Colley handing off to Bradford. Bradford's got a seam. Bradford threw a tackle, still on his feet, puts his shoulder down at the 23-yard line before being dragged down by Mertz and Jacobson. It'll move the chains for the Bulldogs, and this Bulldog offensive line really starting to impact this game with their running game, Christian.
I mean, they've had a lot of control here with their passing. Now all these running lanes are opening up, and they're just trying to eat away this clock. They've seen how hard they've had to work to get to 20 points. All year long, they worked to get to averaging 50 on the season per game. They had to fight to get to 20 today. Snowbirds' defense has really stepped up.
Snowbirds are able to stop this, and he's coming through it, breaking free and going in for the touchdown for the Bulldogs is Landon Fenstermaker, all the way in from 24 yards, and we've got a Snowbird slow to get up.
That would be Jackson Vernier.
Yeah, Jackson Vernier slow to get up. He's able to walk it off, but as it stands, the play is good for the Bulldogs. Fenstermaker scores. And now it's a 20-point lead. The Bulldogs have come out swinging here in the second half, scoring 18 points in this third quarter. Empty set now for Colley. Twins to the top and bottom. He'll take the snap and he'll keep it himself. Cuts it up and he cuts it in for the 2-point conversion. And that will allow the Bulldogs to extend this to a 22-point lead. We're going to go ahead and step aside here and take a quick commercial break. Snowbirds will be getting the football when we return here. You're watching Gaylord St. Mary football on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after this.
That was my best idea that I can come up with the spot.
Elijah Elliott sending this one away. It's a high end-over-end kick, fielded Willie Mays style at the 26-yard line by Mertz, and he's dragged down after a 3-yard return by Willis. And Alex Willis making a nice play on special teams, dragging down Mertz, and the Snowbirds will look to make an impact here on offense, and it just has been tough sledding for the Snowbirds in the second half, Christian.
Yeah, number 34 for the Snowbirds coming off.
Little slow.
Little gingerly, not on our roster sheet here is They can't get you an identity. However, no matter what, even if it's the last game of the season and playoffs are abound, you still want to be healthy.
Here's the pistol now for O'Connell and the Snowbirds. He's going to hand it off, and the Bulldogs are ready for that one. Nice play once again by Willis.
Number 34 is Trenton.
Okay.
While we're taking a fast minute here, I want to give a quick shout out to Alicia and Jack Cody watching from home. Biggest Snowbird fans in the house, and thank you for supporting me here on Next Level.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Alicia and Jack. And the Snowbirds right now trying to get something going. 2nd down and 9. This has not been a quarter to write home about if you're the Snowbirds, and they're going to hand this one up the middle, and a huge hit is delivered by Mason Green for the Bulldogs, number 8.
Wow, came in from that corner position and just some solid contact there. At the line of scrimmage, brings up 3rd down.
Coach Corson is unhappy down there on the sideline. He doesn't like what he's seeing out of his team.
It's been a very lethargic quarter here from the Snowbirds.
No.
So here's 3rd and 9 once again. Gaylord St. Mary in a gun 2 back, Durecki, and O'Connell's going to keep it. He'll run up the middle, and he gets about 3 yards on that carry.
Quarterback dive.
Yeah, just straight quarterback dive to keep it, set up a 4th and more manageable. Let's call it a long 5 yards for the Snowbirds. They need to get to the Bulldog 28-yard line.
I would like to know what happened here at the half between the two teams. It just seems like the energy's flipped.
Yeah, exactly. And O'Connell will now look to drop back into punt formation. He'll send it away, and the Bulldogs don't have a returner, so this will take a good St. Mary bounce if the Bulldogs choose not to return it. They don't. It's down there at the 35-yard line by Jackson Vernier. Vernier looks like he's shaking off that injury that he had a scare of earlier, Nick. But for the Snowbirds, their defense, they've got to figure out this run game for the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. It's really been giving them a hard time so far in this second half.
Yeah, that's what these coaches are all probably saying on the sideline. They're like, hey, we got to figure out a play to come up with, because we got to get this going right now if you want to end up getting back in this game.
Serious business down here on the sidelines, but we're going to need to see some energy from this defense. Maybe make a play. Offense hasn't really answered here in the second half. Might be up to the defense to do the talking.
I'll tell you what, though, the fans are doing an awesome job. They're braving out this cold and watching
Bradford slips through the tackle. He's still on his feet. He's got a lot of room. He's in a foot race now with Lucas Grenier. Can he catch him? Bradford step for step with Grenier. Bradford slips through the tackle, and he's going to take this one in for a house call. And the Bulldogs go up one more score via the Bradford 68-yard touchdown run. 34-6 now is the score, and the Bulldogs have now scored 26 points in this third quarter.
I mean, this has been a tale of two halves offensively for Inland Lakes, right? First half they were pretty quiet, and the Snowbirds defense was stepping up and doing a good job. And
yeah, and it's just the adjustments that the Bulldogs have made at halftime. And there's a little pitch out to Fenstermaker. He's going to be swarmed in by Nathan O'Connell, and Nathan O'Connell's got the stop. They stopped the Bulldogs on the 2-point attempt.
We got an injured Snowbird.
Yes, we do have a Snowbird down, and
looks to be a cramp.
You don't want to anticipate too much, but it does look like it was the right leg.
That was Jackson Vernier again.
And the Snowbirds are down now by 28 points, and they are just trying to find their footing, Christian. I mean, it was a couple of jabs that all started with the onside kick that the Bulldogs recovered, and it's been an avalanche since that happened.
I hate to say that was the play, but I mean, even going into the half, right, the Snowbirds defense stepped up and got the interception. So if there is a play, maybe it is the surprise onside as they kind of go for a squib kick that just kind of lazily rolls. But that onside there, the kick that was recovered, I mean, that's kind of the line of demarcation right there where you can say that's where it clearly took a turn. But, I mean, for it to change as fast as it's been one quarter.
Yeah.
It just seems like a completely different ball game now. So the Snowbirds are going to have to respond here if you're going to have a chance to come back in this.
I think just overall for their general mindset and poise as a team and cohesion as a unit, a good drive here would go a long way. As O'Connell swings this one out into the flat, he's got a completion to Mertz, and Mertz is dragged down right at the line of scrimmage. Nice tackle made by Mason Green, again coming from his cornerback position, and Green's made a couple really nice plays, Christian.
Well, Green also laid the wood in the last drive, but yeah, Inland Lakes, a credit to their defense. Their defense has been fast and playing sideline to sideline, as well as matching up, as there's a timeout taken here, matching up with the end of the quarter, sorry.
End of the quarter in the books. It was a very good quarter for the Bulldogs, a not good quarter for the Snowbirds. We're going to go ahead and step aside, see if the roles can be reversed in the fourth quarter. 12 minutes left to go between the Bulldogs and the Snowbirds for the Ski Valley Conference Championship. You're watching Gaylord St. Mary football here on Next Level Broadcasting. We'll be back after these.
Hi, it's Kevin Klein from TVC Airport. We're proud to help keep you connected to high school sports in Northern Michigan, so you can stay in the game all season long with TVC, your Northern Michigan connection.
And welcome in the fourth quarter officially underway. St. Mary ball with it at their own 44-yard line. Nathan O'Connell in the empty back formation. Looking to throw, evades one tackler, trying to get away. This ball is out. It is a fumble. It's scooped up.
No, they're ruling it incomplete.
That looked very close to an empty hand, Christian. Let's take another look at that one. As it stands and as it was called, it's an incomplete pass on the field. The referees obviously don't have the benefit of replay. So let's take another look at this one. We'll take it in slow-mo here.
Well,
very close play. Very, very close. It was a bang-bang play. The referee made the call, and here the Snowbirds are on third down. O'Connell got a completion to Switalski. Switalski cuts across the field. Stiff arm, gets a block. Switalski with the first down into Bulldog territory. Eli Switalski pushed out of bounds at the Bulldog 38-yard line, and the Snowbirds with a sign of life to start the fourth quarter.
Well, you needed that, and a much desperately needed just first down in general. But yeah, we were looking at that replay, Charles, and I'm not sure they had the right call there. That could have been called a fumble, but luckily for the Snowbirds, they're able to keep it in their possession, get a good first down there with Switalski, and hey, they're gaming now.
You know, I saw, as soon as I saw Switalski go in there, he's like, hey, guys.
Here's a catch over here to Mertz. Mertz brought down. That's a tough tackle, and it was brought down by Elijah Perkins, and Mertz is able to bounce right back up. But, wow, that looked to be like a very aggressive tackle. Glad to see Mertz bounce back up after that one.
Got contorted and spun right down, just unable to shake away the tackle. But, man.
That's where it helps being 17 years old. Up here in the box at 29 years old, I don't know if I'd be popping back up after that one.
Not as fast as I would be.
It's second.
If I did, I'd feel it later.
Yeah, it's 2nd and 8 now to that 2-yard gain on first down. O'Connell in the shotgun, slinging it out in the flats. Got a completion to Joe Jacobson, and Joe Jacobson brought down by his shoestrings. Alex Willis making the stop behind the line of scrimmage for the Bulldogs. That play looked good initially, but then Willis with great speed to recover.
Alex Willis, that Mike linebacker position coming up, it just showed some speed. That pass went right over his head, but he didn't lose pursuit and able to bring down the TFL. Tackle for loss makes it another third and long here. Snowbirds 30% right now on third down.
Jacobson looks a little shook up over there for the Snowbirds, but he decided to stay in the game.
Here's 3rd and long. O'Connell rolling to his right. Throw back across the middle, and it's incomplete. Deflected there by Elijah Perkins. Intended target for the Snowbirds was Eli Switalski. It was a little throwback post route that the Snowbirds were trying to hit. It was well covered by the Bulldogs, so this will make it a 4th and 13.
Yeah, it was a dangerous throw there from O'Connell. I don't know if he just didn't see the guy, the second defender flashing back across the field there, but yeah, Elijah Perkins, good play on the ball, able to get his hands on it. They almost did get the interception, makes it 4th and long here. Snowbirds, 1
Looking
for 5.
to throw, pumping it, double move down the seam. He's got it. Running in stride is Mertz. Mertz tackled at the 2. The Snowbirds dial up a big shot, and it's good for 38 yards all the way down to the Bulldog 2-yard line, courtesy O'Connell to Mertz. Let's take another look at that one here. So they're dialing up the double move, faking the little bubble screen, and Mertz runs right down the seam.
That's like I said earlier, Charles, where I said what they need to find a shot. If you could, get down the middle and throw it down middle. And he found the man.
Mertz doing a good job of hauling that one in. Clock winds. Snowbirds in 1st and goal now from the 3. They mark it. O'Connell looking to throw. Pumps it now. Tucks it underneath. Big time hit by Damian Bradford. But O'Connell is down near the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Snowbirds now, trying to bounce back and put some points up on the board at the beginning of this 4th quarter.
They got to move fast, by the way, if they're looking to come with any intention of coming back. I mean, they're going to have to get this lead back in control.
You got to look out now if you're I-list, because you got Grenier coming back in for the Snowbirds, and he's tough on those guys.
Lucas Grenier in the backfield to go along with Braden Durecki. Nathan O'Connell keeps it himself on the direct quarterback sneak. He's backing his way near the goal line, and it doesn't look like he's got the yardage needed to get a touchdown, but it's inches away now.
That's why you
the
bring
Snowbirds.
in Grenier. You bring in Grenier for that massive blocker. If it's a quarterback zone, which is what that was, you have Grenier as your lead blocker. He's a little bit bigger than Durecki.
I'd say if you're the Snowbirds right now, give it back to Grenier. Let him just push his way in.
You know, if there's anything I'm going to agree with you on today, Nick, it might be that.
Here's 3rd and 2, 3rd and goal. O'Connell's keeping it, running behind Grenier, and O'Connell is okay. We still don't have a signal. I guess he's short. He's in the end zone, laying down without the football. And we don't have a call. We have the line judge on the far side saying he's down short of the goal line. Still waiting for a call here. He's saying he's just inches short. He did throw his bean bag, which marks where the ball should be placed, and it's just a couple inches shy. It'll be 4th and inches, 4th and goal. Snowbirds trying to score here on their first possession of the 4th quarter. They need this one badly for just a shot in the arm of morale. So here comes O'Connell in from the sideline with the play call. Rain coming down even harder. Under center they go.
They're loading up the line.
O'Connell gets the push, and O'Connell is pushed into the end zone for a touchdown. Give that second effort to Nathan O'Connell and some help from his running back, Logan Grenier. And the Snowbirds get points on the board here to start the 4th quarter, 34-12 after the O'Connell tush push.
Well, it's a tall mountain to climb here. You're going to need a couple of defensive stops, maybe a turnover, something to get this ball back into your offense's hand quicker than usual. But, hey, you're able to finally do something that you haven't done since your first drive, and that was put points on the board.
Let's see if they hand the ball off back to the Grenier.
Lining up to go for 2 are the Snowbirds. The motion, Durecki and Grenier over to the other side of the formation. O'Connell keeps it, pitches it to Grenier, and Grenier puts his shoulder down, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. Snowbirds back down by just 20 points after they put 8 on the board, and a good monumental response for this Gaylord St. Mary's Snowbird team to deliver a sign of life and a shot of enthusiasm into the veins of the Snowbird defense. Let's see if that defense can now get a stop, get the ball back, and then the offense can try to do their thing once more.
Well, if you have any, if this is the fun part of being a coach, right? Is if you have any confidence in your team, what you just saw happened in the third quarter to your team, you have to look at your team and say, can we do the same thing and more to the other team? So Coach O'Connell has a tall task in front of him, but crazier things have happened.
That's right.
And he's trying to set his coaches into the perfect set. He's trying to get Adam Corson down there all relaxed and settled down and trying to find a way back in this thing.
Want to check into the YouTube chat line. And we got Tom Clemenson tuning in. Yeah, Tom, exactly. Joe Jacobson making some big plays, even though he's not super big in stature, but doing a great job so far here tonight in the secondary. Joe. And this one's kicked off. It's a scrib kick fielded at the Bulldog 38-yard line. And a sure-handed fielding there by Elijah Perkins.
It's getting wet out here, Charles.
It is a slippery tarp out there on the field right now as both teams having some trouble with the footing. And right now as the Bulldogs have this 20-point advantage that they built in the third quarter alone. It was a 2-point game at halftime. If you're just now joining us, it was 8-6. The Bulldogs scored 26 points in the third quarter. Snowbirds just answered back in the fourth. Can they force a 3-and-out and get the ball back? As here's a handoff to Bradford up the middle. He's brought down after a 2-yard gain. A couple Snowbirds in on the stop. First man there was O'Connell. Finishing him off was Charlie Cameron and Jackson Vernier. It'll be 2nd and 8 after the Bradford carry on first down.
Well, that's step one of getting your defense off the field quick, but I imagine Inland Lakes is going to use up a little bit of clock here. They might chew up a lot of clock, actually. They'll wait for the ref to raise his hands more than anything. That's what we're actually doing right now.
Yeah, just letting this play clock go down as far as possible as Colley's going to hand off to Fenstermaker. Fenstermaker dragged down from behind. A nice play made. Coming from behind is Calvin Skoronski. Tackle for, I want to say, a 1-yard, maybe a half-yard gain on that second down carry for Fenstermaker.
Brings up 3rd and long, but Inland Lakes has shown that no matter what the distance is, they're able to capitalize on these third down plays. They have only been 1 for 5. They haven't needed third down a whole lot this second half.
Yeah, they've been hitting big chunk plays so far in this second half, letting Tyler Colley use his legs to their advantage. And here's a penalty marker thrown. And I also want to say Inland Lakes had cleaned up the penalties that had been stopping their drives in the first half. That is, by my account, only the second penalty of the second half for the Inland Lakes Bulldogs. And it pushes it back to 3rd and 12 now. And the clock will start there on the ready for play. Under 7 minutes to go. Snowbirds looking to get a stop and get the ball back. Got to watch Bradford here. He's the man to key on. Colley hands off to Bradford. Bradford spinning around through the wash cycle, corkscrewing his way to the 40-yard line as well. The forward progress will be marked. It will be 4th and about 8. I think they'll probably punt this one away, Christian.
Yeah, a good defensive stand from the Snowbirds. Inland Lakes able to chew some clock. 20-point game here. But, I mean, if you're the Snowbirds, you're fine with the work there by your defense. And, maybe the false start helped a little bit. But, yeah, I agree, Charles. If you're the Bulldogs, maybe you do go for the punt here. But Bradford's in the backfield.
Bradford looks to punt this one away. And he's going to fake it. He's going to keep it. This is going nowhere. Bradford now circling, reversing field, and now punts it. And it's a long, drawn-out punt. It rolls and settles inside the Snowbird 40-yard line.
Snowbird.
We have a
It's a net punt of 23 yards. And Jackson Vernier is slow to get up again. He's trying to jog it off, and he's kind of favoring the same right leg that he's been working on all game long. hope he's okay. The Snowbirds get the ball back courtesy of a not so customarily seen punt.
That's, by all accounts, the strategy of that punt right there is it's covering a lot of different bases. If you're Bradford, you're running, you could potentially have a lane for the first down. If you see what didn't work, you go back and punt it. But it killed a lot of clock.
O'Connell looking to throw on first down. It's intended here for George Mertz, incomplete. Nice coverage on the play by Mason Green. But Christian, my question is, why would you choose to expose yourself to that kind of danger when you're up by 20 points for Inland Lakes? I mean, you don't have to do that.
You don't necessarily have to, but maybe if you are kind of afraid of your opponent coming back in a way, or if you're trying to play keep away, right? As we've said a couple of times so far, this is the only team that we've seen been able to kind of keep it close with Inland Lakes. And
O'Connell looking to throw, dropping back to pass, deep up the sideline.
Beautiful throw.
And unable to squeeze it was George Mertz. He put just enough air on that. O'Connell hung in the pocket for as long as he could.
Man.
Took a huge shot. Let's take another look at this one. And we just mistimed that replay, and it was intended for Mertz.
Beautiful play, beautiful pass on the sideline. But yeah, he stood in the pocket, took the hit, got drilled en route to delivering that rainbow. Makes it 3rd and long though, but
that was just a beautiful pass by O'Connell.
Maybe just a split second more air under that throw.
Game of inches.
Here's a little tunnel screen to Switalski, and it's played beautifully by the Bulldogs. Getting in there to thwart that pass was Fenstermaker and knock it down. It'll be 4th and 10. They need to get to midfield for a fresh set of downs. The Snowbirds have had 3 passing attempts, all go incomplete. One thing to note, in this spread-style air raid offense that the Snowbirds are now having to run, they don't have Logan Grenier out there. Maybe just because
it's your sledgehammer down in the goal line situations, but
they'll send trips to the bottom of the formation now. O'Connell drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket, has to evade one tackler, keeping his eyes downfield, back across his body, and it skips underneath Mertz's hands, and the Snowbirds turn it over. Mertz was open inside the Bulldog 40, but the pass was short. I think if you're Mertz, you got to come back to the football, Christian.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Charles. I think that's 2 plays in a row, right, where Mertz is kind of been open. This one, you need to come back to it.
Yeah, you see him, and he's kind of waiting there for the ball. You got to come back to it, help the quarterback out, and Mertz has been a target for O'Connell on this recent possession twice. The two of them unable to connect, and the Bulldogs get it back. 1st and 10 from the Snowbird 40-yard line. The chance to really put this one on ice for Inland Lakes and claim that 4th consecutive Ski Valley Conference title. Handoff to Fenstermaker. He's met by Charlie Cameron to go along with David Wall.
If this score sticks, or even if Inland Lakes scores, this would be among their lowest scoring output on the season. And if you're the Snowbirds, that's a win in itself, because up to this point, the lowest points that Inland Lakes has put up on a team was on Hillman, and that was 49. A good showing here from the Snowbirds nonetheless.
They're down by 20, ball on the 40. And here's Colley keeping it for himself, gets down near the 35-yard line, getting maybe a handful of yards on that 2nd down carry. It'll be 3rd and 5. Rain still accumulating here on the field.
It's coming down hard.
It's coming down, but it's not windy, so passing not impacted by the weather right now, outside of having a wet ball or slippery ball.
It certainly made the grass a little slippery out there. I've seen a couple of players lose their footing.
Hand off to Bradford. He bounces it left. Bradford with a lot of open lane in front.
One of them.
Stiff arms a man into the end zone. Bradford is in. 35-yard touchdown for the Inland Lakes Bulldogs and Andre Bradford. And that might be the nail in the coffin there, Christian, because the Bulldogs now up 40 to 14 after that Bradford touchdown run.
Well, Bradford tallying up.
And he's just going to bounce it immediately. Sees that lane, and boom, he's gone.
That's his 4th touchdown run of the night, and he's well on his way to a near 200-yard game, I imagine. He's just been racking them up. He had a 60-plus yarder earlier. There's a 30-yarder right there. Everything in between, along with his other touchdown runs. Bradford's been a key player for the Bulldogs.
Elijah Elliott on to attempt the PAT, and that is no good. Wide left. Actually goes out of bounds here at the Gaylord St. Mary field. So the Snowbirds give up the 6 points to Bradford. They'll get the ball back. And once again, if you're just now joining us, this game turned on its head. At the beginning of the 3rd quarter, the Bulldogs did a quick little cheeky squib kick, and it bounced off the shin of a Snowbird player, recovered by Inland Lakes. And since that moment happened at the beginning moments of the 3rd quarter, the Bulldogs have outscored the Snowbirds 32-8.
I mean, at this point, Charles, that's going to be what we're going to have to play or do with that onside, that squib kick, is we're going to have to mark that as the line of demarcation, because that was where the game turned on its head. And yeah, the Snowbirds were able to put together a touchdown just a couple of drives ago, but I mean, ever since then, Inland Lakes has looked that 3rd quarter outburst. I've only ever seen a 3rd quarter like that, and that was in basketball with Klay Thompson hit 36 points on 11 dribbles. Okay, you don't see that type of outburst in the 3rd quarter. It's something that you just. When you're the Snowbirds, you have to kind of capitalize on some of the takeaways that you've had and some of the missed opportunities that the Bulldogs have given.
Here's George Mertz on the return trying to capitalize, and he shook about 3 tacklers off of him there. Snowbirds will take over inside their own 15. I believe the ball spotted at the 13-yard line. Christian, sorry to cut you off there.
No,
but
you're fine.
Mertz and the Snowbirds just looking to build some positive momentum here as they'll be taking this, what looks like a 7-2 record, into the playoffs. And while we have an opportunity to do so, let's talk about where you can watch Snowbird playoff football. We'll bring that up here. It'll be on the NFHS network. It will still be our production and our origination of the broadcast, just on the NFHS network, as O'Connell's scrambling around. Throws it deep over the middle, and it was intended for Switalski, incomplete. Let's show that one more time on the screen if we can here, Zach. The Snowbirds, that graphic on where people can go to get the game. So once again, all playoff games will be streamed through the NFHS network. It'll still be our broadcast. You'll just need to go to the NFHS network to get those games, and the links will be distributed out as well. So you can check on that. You can also check for all the updates regarding playoff bracketing and seeding. That'll come out on Sunday, and we'll determine where both of these teams tonight will be playing. O'Connell looking to throw over the middle. It's intercepted. It's going to be returned.
Mason Green
still on his feet. Mason Green on his feet, still inside the 10-yard line, and the Bulldogs have it 1st and goal on the Mason Green interception. That is the official first turnover of the game for the Snowbirds, if you don't take into account the onside kick recovery at the beginning. But Mason Green there just sitting in that zone coverage, waiting for that ball, and jumped the route. Snowbirds were trying to hit the seam route up the middle, and Green was able to catch it and turn and run and make a play.
Mason Green, right place, right time, and if you're the Snowbirds, you take away today and you look to be healthy going into the playoffs, because you're going to have some work to do, especially if these two teams happen to run into each other again. 3.5 to go. Colley flanked on both sides. This one's to Mason Green.
And he's in for the touchdown. Yeah, Mason Green rewarded for that interception that he had, and now he puts the Bulldogs, and he hits the 40. We got a penalty marker down, though. We'll check the penalty. It looks like the Bulldogs are backing up.
We await the call here.
I like how the crowd goes silent so they can figure out what the call is.
A couple of players are cheering.
We'll check the penalty marker, looking for a call. It's a face mask against the Snowbirds. It will be, I believe, either declined or enforced on the ensuing kickoff. So the kickoff is, the touchdown is good for Green, and the Bulldogs have hit the 46-point mark, and Elliott this time splits the uprights, and that one is good.
Coach Greener is down there walking off the sideline. He doesn't like what he sees.
So, Christian, the Bulldogs closing in on that 50-point mark. We've seen them hit that pretty much in every game they've had so far this year. Weren't sure if we would see it here tonight with the way that the game was feeling. You know, the game was feeling like a slugfest through 2 quarters, and then the third quarter, the game has completely changed.
Through one half, I was thinking that we were going to be looking at a game that was going to be decided by just a couple of plays. I mean, that's what we were talking about at the half. Then this third quarter happened, and it just Bulldogs haven't looked back. They look like the team that was putting up 60+ on Pellston. I mean, if you're the Snowbirds, I hope they don't go into the film next week and they say, you know, that kickoff is what did us, because it wasn't just the kickoff alone, it was the defensive plays.
This kickoff is returned by Mertz, and he gets chopped down there by a nice tackle by Colin Maves.
Even if you look at that surprise onside, Charles, you can't let the rest of the quarter take place the way it did.
You're absolutely right, Christian. I think you could, you know, chop this one up to compounding errors that just built and built and built, and that avalanche just kept on tumbling down the hillside for the Snowbirds in that third quarter. And even in this whole second half now, as the Bulldogs have scored 39 second half points. Snowbirds just looking for some positive takeaways right now with 3:21 left to go in the fourth quarter. Nathan O'Connell and company got a hitch route here complete to Eli Switalski. Switalski pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line. It's very close to first down yardage, and it will be 2nd and 1.
Well, 3 minutes to go left in this ball game. And Snowbirds looking to just execute the offense going into the playoffs. O'Connell ordering Cameron where to go.
Yep.
Low snap.
Another low snap. O'Connell has to just make something happen. He tucks it and runs and gets the first down. Just trying to make the most of everything there, Christian, given all that was going on.
Yeah, he was trying to direct Charlie Cameron where to be. Low snap, and O'Connell had to abandon ship and get to running. O'Connell.
Over the middle, it's complete there to Switalski, and Switalski's out of bounds inside the Bulldog territory. Yeah, Christian, I think right now if you're the Snowbirds, you're just trying to kind of catch your breath.
Trying to just execute the offense, you know, at this point, you really hate to be saying this deep into the season in a game with this high of stakes, but these reps are still important, especially going into the playoffs. But, you know, in a championship game, essentially, this is something that you really needed to execute a little better on, but that's what these reps are still forward for.
O'Connell taking the snap, looking to throw again, rolling to his left. It's complete to Joe Jacobson. He's pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. While we have a chance to do so, we want to thank Schultz Marathon Gas Station and Party Store. Located off exit 301 on I-75 is Schultz Marathon Party Store and is the marquee destination for all Snowbird travelers heading north for Snowbird road trips this fall. They're offering a wide selection of snacks, refreshments, delicious pizza, and quality service. A proud sponsor of Snowbird football here on Next Level Broadcasting. That's Schultz Marathon Gas Station and Party Store, exit 301 in Wolverine off I-75. Snowbirds with first down here, trips to the top of the screen. O'Connell slings it out into the flat. That's Charlie Cameron on the receiving end. Puts his shoulder down as he's looking for contact. And, Nick, you were saying there about Schultz Marathon Party Store. One of your favorite stops, right?
Yes, it is.
One
of my favorite gas stations to stop and get a nice cold Mountain Dew like I have here. And a nice hot slice of pizza from Coach Schultz.
Here's 2nd down and 4. O'Connell empty in the formation by himself over the middle looking for Joe Jacobson, and a miscommunication there between quarterback and receiver. I think O'Connell was thinking Jacobson had a post route, and Jacobson didn't really cut it into the middle of the field.
I wonder if that was, I wonder if that was some sort of a read route, or if that was it was designed that way, because it was a bubble screen to Cameron, but he had 2 defenders pull that way.
Yeah.
So that opened up the middle of the field, and that's why, I agree with maybe your belief that he was expecting maybe a slant or a post, just it wasn't there.
Here's 3rd and 4. Snowbirds with trips to the bottom of the formation. O'Connell looking to throw over to Cameron. Good catch. Cameron's got the 1st down, and that's his 3rd catch of the game. And
Second one-hander.
And every time that he's touched the ball, good things have happened for the Snowbirds. Once again, after the strong play by Charlie Cameron, let's tell you about the Powerhouse Gym. Hey, throughout the course of a game, St. Mary's student-athletes are tested both mentally, physically, and even spiritually. And those are the values that the Powerhouse Gym is proud to support by helping make tonight's live stream broadcast of Gaylord St. Mary football possible. 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 30-yard line. O'Connell by himself. Over the middle, intended for Joe Jacobson, trying to squeeze it in there, and it falls incomplete. And
yeah, Joe Jacobson, he had a lane right there, but it was a quick line. Also, I don't think Jacobson got his head around fast enough, but it was a little low for Jacobson to kind of get down there also.
While we have time to do here in between plays, I'll tell you about Rafi Sabachi and Sushi Bar. Hey, looking to celebrate a big win or the end of the season? Maybe a special anniversary? Then make plans at Rafi's Your Destination with something on the menu for everyone. And Rafi's is proud to be sponsoring the player of the game tonight. We'll do that near the end of the 4th quarter. That's Rafi Sabachi and Sushi Bar. O'Connell slings it out into the flat, incomplete. Check the roster here, but that was intended for Andrew Rosser. And Andrew Rosser, the senior here, getting a target his way on senior night, Christian.
Yeah, and these seniors, this is an emotional night for them, their last home game.
Here's 3rd down and 10. Snowbirds shifting their formations around here. 1 minute, 58 seconds remain.
Less than 25% right now in these 3rd down conversions.
O'Connell out route complete. That's Mertz. It's going to be marked at the 25-yard line. It will be 4th and about 4 yards here for the Snowbirds as the clock continues to roll.
Yep, they hurry up to the line here.
About 33% here on 4th down.
Over to the side, completed to Joe Jacobson, and he's tackled right at the 20. Far side official says he's got good enough yardage for the 1st down, so Joe Jacobson moves the chains for the Snowbirds, and the clock stops as the chains are set. Now it winds. O'Connell once again by himself, looking to throw, rolling to his left, steps up across the middle. It's intended for Charlie Cameron and almost intercepted by the Bulldogs. And it was nearly picked off by Fenstermaker there, and a near interception. And, well, we have a couple more spots that we want to thank for making tonight's game possible. Mama Leone's. Established in 1953, Mama Leone's has been serving up their world-class Italian cuisine and pizza. We'll tell you this after this snap. O'Connell looking to throw, now scrambling. He'll take off now, and is brought down inside of the 15-yard line. Once again, that's Mama Leone's. They were started in 1953 and have been serving up their world-class Italian cuisine and pizza, a family-owned restaurant and the official post-game gathering place of Gaylord St. Mary football. See you after the game at Mama Leone's, located on 2583 South Otsego Avenue in Gaylord. Here's a completion intended for Eli Switalski over the middle, falls incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go for the Snowbirds.
He had Mertz over the middle too. Just kind of split the 2 receivers, and neither one could really come up with the clean grab on it. Also, a wet ball, you don't really want to have make it a tough catch for your wide receiver in tough conditions already.
While we're stopped here, we do have a final score from the Sioux. Gaylord wins 35-0.
4th down for the Snowbirds. Nathan O'Connell is going to tuck it and run He's got a nose for the first down marker, and he picks it up, puts his shoulder down into Fenstermaker there just for a little love tap, and the Snowbirds have it 1st and goal. While they have it 1st and goal, we'll tell you about Sky Media 45. Hey, mapping, inspections, marketing, they've got you covered. Sky Media 45 is your eye in the sky. Precision drone technology for stunning visuals and critical data. Your project, our perspective. Let's fly. Visit skymedia45.com for more information. That is also, of course, Tom Clemetson's brand, Sky Media 45, and Tom Clemetson here.
It's like the audio credits are rolling here.
And here's 1st and goal for the Snowbirds. Nathan O'Connell over the middle, complete. Joe Jacobson in for the score. As Joe Jacobson scores it from 9 yards out, Nathan O'Connell's helped up by a couple of Snowbirds and Bulldogs. Jacobson scores it for the Snowbirds on a 9-yard out route, and it's Snowbirds 20, Bulldogs 47. Here's the replay here. Jacobson getting some separation against his defender, and O'Connell puts it right on him.
Excellent play, excellent pass there. Good, beautiful on ball, on the numbers, right, for Jacobson. And for that to be the 3rd touchdown scored today, by the way, that's more touchdowns than the Bulldogs allowed all season. So they only allowed 2 coming into today. And for this being the last game of the season, an excellent showing.
Snowbirds lining up to go for 2. O'Connell rolling to his left now, looking for a man in the back of the end zone. Fires a fastball intended for Charlie Cameron. It's broken up, however, by the Bulldog defense. So the Snowbirds get denied on the 2-point attempt. It's 20-47, and we have some time to thank our final sponsor here tonight, the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport. Hey, after tonight's game and the rain and the wind, are you dreaming of the sun and the sand? Well, hey, TVC Cherry Capital Airport can take you there, whether it's to the beaches in Florida, the beaches in the Caribbean, or to hit the links out in Phoenix or Tempe. Fly nonstop on Allegiant or with just one stop on American. Get to those hubs and get to the place of your vacation. Let's book your fall or winter vacation to 20 nonstop destinations served by 7 airlines, including Avelo and now Sun Country. Don't miss out. Seats are filling fast. Now is the time to book your 2025 fall or winter vacation experience. Visit tvcairport.com to do so. This one's kicked off out of bounds.
You know, Charles, I have an interesting question for you. With that sponsor, where would you want to fly the most?
You know, is it a one-stop or do I need to connect somewhere, Nick? You tell me.
One stop.
One-stop flight. I think I'd like to fly right to Rafi's Hibachi Bar and get some of their great appetizers and sushi, or maybe even Mama Leone's, Nick. I'd like to fly there too, one stop.
You know where I would like to go?
Where?
Texas.
Okay.
Where it's nice and warm.
Nick, I got nothing for you. I got. And the Inland Lakes Bulldogs now up 47-20. This will be victory formation for Inland Lakes. They look to have seized control of this one, and they will take the Ski Valley Conference Championship here over the Gaylord St. Mary's Snowbirds. Snowbirds score more points than the Bulldogs have allowed all season long, but it wasn't quite enough as the 3rd quarter offensive outburst by the Inland Lakes Bulldogs propels them to this 47-20 victory over the Gaylord St. Mary's Snowbirds. And for both teams, you have to have pride and hold your head high. And like we said for the Snowbirds, this game really comes down to turnovers and penalties. Christian, so far, penalty-wise for the Snowbirds, they did a good job.
I mean, they won there in that department, right? I mean, only 4 for maybe about a total of, I would say 50 yards. And it just, in all, the defense, right? That 3rd quarter collapse, even you look through the numbers, the Bulldogs, they were penalized more and more frequently. They had 6 for about 70 yards total. And even their numbers, right, like – just efficiency and what they were able to do on 1st and 2nd down. That's where they won. That's where the Bulldogs were able to capitalize. That was on 1st and 2nd down. They weren't finding themselves in 3rd and long, 4th and long. They did a great job of being able to be efficient and not dig themselves into a hole offensively.
Yeah, I would concur with that statement all throughout that, Christian. And for the Snowbirds, they will most likely, should things fall their way, have a home playoff game next week. Hopefully that is the case, because I think the Snowbird team, with losses to Inland Lakes and to Breckenridge, I think they deserve it based off of their resume, a 7-2 campaign so far in the regular season. I think this Snowbird team has definitely earned the rights to play at home. While we have an opportunity to do so here on senior night, we want to give one final send-off for the Snowbird players potentially playing their final game here at home. And Nick Wenzel, let's go ahead and run through this Snowbird senior roster.
Number 20, Andrew Rosser.
13, Braden Durecki. And then number 10, David Wall. So only 3 seniors on the roster for the Gaylord St. Mary's Snowbirds this year, but senior night nonetheless. It's a unfortunate night that they had to lose and weren't able to go out with a win on senior night, but the Snowbirds will have another opportunity in the playoffs, so those seniors can, experience one more opportunity at the very least to get a win. So we want to welcome you into the Gaylord Eye Care Center post-game show here. What you just saw was the Inland Lakes Bulldogs taking this one 47-20 and claiming another Ski Valley Conference championship. Charles Strail along with Christian Swinsicki and Nick Wenzel here. Christian, your one takeaway for the Snowbirds as they head into the playoffs?
I mean, the defense, keep it up. They allowed 47 tonight. 40, yeah. And that was, it didn't seem like it was ever that much at any point until the third quarter, where the third quarter comes up and all of a sudden, it's like you said, it went from a 2-point game to a near 30-point game almost. And I look at these numbers. This is something that, if you look on the flip side, keeping track of 3rd and 4th downs, look at the Bulldogs, where they only had 6 third-down attempts.
Yeah.
That goes back to that efficiency that I was talking about on 1st and 2nd down. Because look at the third-down attempts here on St. Mary's, they had 15 third-down attempts, and they only converted 4. You got to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down. That way you don't keep digging yourselves into these holes, because now, granted, they ended up playing for 4th down a lot because they were and 4 for 8 from 4th down.
Sure.
But being 4 for 8 for 4th down is still only 50%. That means you're turning it over the other half of the time.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you just need more efficiency on 1st and 2nd down. But that defense is showing. I mean, we were looking at the half, and like I said, off camera, we said this might be a defensive game.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a surprise onside kick, a couple of big touchdown runs from Andre Bradford, and the next thing you know, you're looking at a near 30-point deficit.
Yeah.
And you just can't find yourselves into them holes, especially after that third quarter eruption from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that point outburst for the Inland Lakes Bulldogs in the third quarter, it seemed like a completely different team and a completely different game from what we saw in the first half through the first 24 minutes of play. It was 8-6 at halftime. The Bulldogs erupted for 39 points in the second half. And Nick, going over to your key to the game, Snowbirds needed to limit the turnovers. They had 1 in the penalties. Christian, they had 4 penalties on the night. So Gaylord St. Mary did those things that they needed to do. It was just too much offensive outburst by Inland Lakes, and the Snowbirds just couldn't hold serve with the point production.
And to go back to those penalties, I mean, one of those penalties was a decline for a touchdown.
Yep.
Their 4th penalty was the out of bounds kick at the end.
Yeah.
So really, they played very clean football.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough.
And that is a really good thing to take away from this game if you're the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds, is the way that they were able to clean things up and only have two impactful penalties here, as you just indicated, Christian, with a couple of those coming on the kick out of bounds at the end of the game, and then the penalty on the green touchdown. Outside of that, 2 penalties for the Snowbirds throughout the course of the game that actually had an impact of the game flow. I thought that the Snowbirds played a clean game, but the adjustments made at halftime by the Bulldogs to get their athletes out in space. I think the big one was getting Collie out on the run, letting him use his legs to their advantage, really changed how the Snowbirds had to play defensively.
Yeah, and getting him out on the run and getting him kind of in uncomfortable positions, making those throws that otherwise he'd probably be hitting from the pocket or maybe comfortably on the run, right? When you have him on the run, the thing is when he's rolling out, he's comfortably rolling out.
Yeah.
You have to make him uncomfortable still rolling out. And the Snowbirds were doing an excellent job of doing that. You know, and I know you mentioned at the end when O'Connell had the interception, but there was another interception that we had before the half that Collie threw that O'Connell picked off.
Right.
So, you know, it kind of irony in that regard, but at the end of the day, the Snowbirds, you look at today, like you said, good good defensive performance until the second half, and then clean football throughout. You look at that, and that is the keys to winning formula, but the other obvious key, and this is the part that, you know, everyone, even myself, can joke about, is at the end of the day, you still need to score more points than the other team.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the Bulldogs did that here in a more efficient manner than the Gaylord St. Mary Snowbirds. We want to thank all of our sponsors one more time for making this game possible. We want to give one final shout out to J&J Construction, the Gaylord Eye Care Center, Gaylord Seal Coating, Professional Seamless Gutters, Schultz's Marathon Gas Station and Party Store, the Powerhouse Gym, Raffy's Hibachi and Sushi Bar, Mama Leone's, Sky Media 45, the Traverse City Cherry Capital Airport, and the Robert T. Westerman Attorney at Law for making this game possible for you to watch from the comfort of your own home or wherever you find comfort. For myself, Charles Strail, Christian Swinsicki, Nick Wenzel, our executive producer tonight, Zach Kennedy, Ryan Bentley, and John Strail on the camera work here. For all of us here at Next Level Broadcasting, we say good night from Gaylord St. Mary Field. Until next week, everybody, look for our broadcasts on the NFHS network as we will be continuing on with the journey of the Gaylord St. Mary football team into the playoffs.
Well, Charles, I have a question, I guess, at home for our viewers. You know, after the after the live broadcast, will Next Level be uploading the broadcast afterwards?
That will be something that we are working with contractually with the MHSAA. We're working those finite details out, but for the most part right now you will be able to see the live broadcast on NFHS. A uploaded version of the broadcast is pending right now. So for everybody, just one more time, you see it on the screen there. Next week's playoff game will be broadcasted by us just through the NFHS server. So once more, good night from Gaylord St. Mary Field. Have a great weekend. We'll see everybody next week.